107.3 Accra.
There can be no other 97.3. No need to change. Keep it tuned to City. You're number one. Don't look no further. We've got it all covered. City FM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning to life.
Good morning.
Music, talk, inspiration, in perspective.
Express yourself. Good morning, my neighbor.
City FM, your station.
It's a refreshing lifestyle.
City FM 97.3.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
We are a chosen generation. All for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We are a chosen generation. All for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who I am. I know who God says I am.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
I know who I am. I know who God says I am. Where He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor. 'Cause I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor. 'Cause I know who I am. Come on, dance for the Lord.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest
We are a
conversation.
chosen generation. We are a chosen generation. Come on and show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who I am. How many of you are chosen generation? We are a chosen generation. Come on to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I'm walking in power. I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor. 'Cause I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor. 'Cause I know who I am. I know who I am. Everybody sing. I know who I am. One more time, sing. I know who I am. I am holy. Come on. I am holy. I am righteous. Oh, I am so rich. I am beautiful.
Yes, I'm walking in power. This is Sinach at her best, a song that took the world by storm.
Walking in power.
walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life for favor. I know who I am. Remember the word. It says we are a chosen generation called forth to show his excellence. All I require for life God has given me. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, where he says I'm at, what he says I'm at. Oh my God. I want to focus on favor this morning. The Bible says, and the patriarchs moved with envy. They moved with envy and sold their brother Joseph. This is Acts chapter 7 verse 9. The patriarchs became envious. They were moved by envy and sold Joseph into Egypt. But I like this part. But God was with him. Oh my God. It doesn't matter who hates you. It doesn't matter who's envious of you. Who's with you is more important than those who are against you. He says, but God was with him. And what did God do? God delivered him out of all his troubles. So those troubles were for him. But God delivered him out of them. And this is my emphasis. And gave him favor and wisdom in the presence of Pharaoh the king. Imagine. Favor and wisdom, not in the presence of some watchman, the king himself. Powerful. I love it. So favor is very important. Now, he gave him two things, wisdom and favor. So let's just put it this way. If you have wisdom without favor, you will waste it. I know, actually, if you have wisdom without favor, you'll be frustrated because, like, you know, but nobody cares what you know. But if you have favor, you don't have wisdom, you will waste the favor, right? Because you need wisdom to manage favor. So God gave Joseph wisdom and favor. It's one of the things you always pray for. And it's not just with God, with men as well. Because you can be wise with God and Charlie in front of men, Charlie nothing. So you also need favor before men too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a very important thing to have. So this is the meditation for the morning. Acts 7:9. She says, I'm walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life of favor. Oh my God. Give me favor today. Give me favor before those who matter. Give me wisdom to manage my favor so I will not be a waster of that grace that I have. Make it a prayer. Make it a desire. Join Sinach on the show this morning. Time check 6:34. Citi Breakfast Show. It's the 25th. Oh yes. 25th of February. So now you sing it with more meaning that you are a person of favor. Yes. Yes, sir. I call this song the Overcoming Believer's Creed. The Overcoming Believer's Creed.
Come on.
I'm walking in power.
Yes, sir.
I'm walking in miracles.
Yes, please.
I live a life of favor because I know who I am. Yes. It says his divine power has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness. I already have it. It's just not realized. I have it. I have it in me. Greatness is in me. Excellence is my portion. I will do better than I did yesterday. Complacence, I have no room for that. Hey! Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Can you see his glory?
I know who I am.
There's been a lot of formation dances by youth
Yes.
groups on this song. I've seen too many.
Solid.
It's amazing the way, Charlie. Some of the people used to do formation dance. When you see them today, they're working in bank. I said, you used to do formation dance. You used to do choreography. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. It started off with a great song. We're jumping into the headlines shortly. Newspaper review, business and sports all in the first hour. From the dreams of youth to the ambitions of adulthood, wherever you are on that journey, starting a career, building a family, growing a business, or planning a future, Fidelity Bank is here for you and there with you. Trust in the journey. Trust Fidelity Bank. Let's turn your desires and dreams into reality. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. And Total Energies is also proud to be associated with the newspaper review segment. The new formula is additive enriched with its powerful 3-in-1 action formula that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. Thanks to the cumulative effect of its anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives. Excellium is the right formula for the right engine. And the question still remains, have you had your flavor yet? Piva has a number of fantastic flavors available in this beverage that's new, taking the market by storm. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Tangy, and Grapefruit are available at a local store. Call 0550-032-231. When we come back, Caleb Kudas joining me in News Bar Review right here on the Citi Breakfast Show.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy fruit drink, bursting with tangy flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. The go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My buddy, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh you go work, but you know it's out in your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I live for you. Many want. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Some dreams live on in time forever. Those dreams.
All right, so 20 minutes to 7. For want of time, we're going straight into a newspaper review. My name is Bernard Avle. I'm here with Caleb Kuda. Caleb, good morning. What do you have for us today?
Good morning, Bernard. Going straight into the paper's daily graphic this morning. Big one. Government determined to win Galamsey war. This is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. He's seen here with Ashanti Regional Minister in the company of some security officers pulled from the military and the police. Okay. Another big one here. Port charges to be reduced. Taxes, duties, levies targeted. Okay. This is the Minister Joseph Bukari Nikwe, Minister of Transport speaking. AGI is ready to partner government on 24-hour economy. We will prioritize low-cost housing for workers. John Bauer
Okay,
is speaking
so
here.
those all in the graphic. What about the
Yes, please.
daily guide?
This morning. NIB invites Joe Gatti for questioning. Dom Kwabenya MPP denies role in defeat. Scrap dealer steals 200 cooking pots. Figazo Agenda 111, $1.7 billion needed to complete projects. This is President Mahama speaking.
All right.
And
Where
then
else
if
are you
go
going?
to the graphic business, charter new path for Bank of Ghana. Experts advocate banks face deeper challenges beyond cash reserves requirement. Dr. Tua Ahene is speaking, and the National Economic Dialogue must focus on debt and agriculture. If you go to Chronicle this morning, Galamsey war will be retributive, fair and firm. Amabua wants. And then you have MC, that's Minerals Commission, sends 40 mine inspectors abroad. The Minerals Commission has been busy in the papers lately. If you go to the Observer, we will use technology to rake in more revenue. Ampim, that's the Minister of Finance Deputy Designate, Dr. Godfred Mauli applauds NDC Group for rescinding protests against GPA appointment. Okay.
All right.
$1.7 billion needed to complete Agenda 111. That's here as well. Lands Minister declares war on mining in forest and water bodies. And then also Finance Minister denies authorizing payments to Kennedy, Japan.
Okay.
The Ghanaian Times, make Council of State active. VIP charges members invest in technology to drive productivity. Rainstorm hits Mampong, renders dozens homeless. Minerals Commission is on Ghanaian Times as well.
Let's do the publisher.
Publisher says no data loss after ICUM's upgrade. That is Ghana Link speaking. Ashanti NPP's MPs set record straight. Minerals Commission is here as well.
Okay.
Chieftaincy dispute rocks Gomua Mpota.
All right.
These are the stories.
What
here.
about the Economy Times?
Economy Times 2025 budget, temporary freeze on public sector employment expected as Mahama instructs expenditure cut, and National Economic Dialogue to guide Ghana's medium-term post. This is IMF strategist. Labor experts disagree on public sector minimum wage increment rates. Bernard.
All right, let's come online. Godfred will give us some headlines
Let me
from
take
there.
you to channel1news.com. Labor productivity growing, but wage gains lag behind. This according to the Ghana Statistical Service.
Right.
We have a historian also who says Nkrumah's Pan-Africanism elevated him to global prominence, and this was marking the anniversary of Nkrumah's, I don't know if it's an anniversary.
Overthrow.
The overthrow of Nkrumah. No room for compromise in Galamsey fight. Arusha Ghana to government. Licensed mining companies' methods must be scrutinized. This is coming from the Western Regional Minister. And Tel Aviv warns of security risk in removing police checkpoints. Bernard, this headline is
So he was asked about the number of checkpoints, and he was saying they have to discuss it because some of them are strategic, some of them are a nuisance. But he was warning against
a lot of them are
an overhaul of the. I think the question was specific. So the way the headline is written suggests that he's saying that he should remove all. He was basically even complaining about it himself. But his point was that there are some that are necessary, so they need to engage.
Let's go to City Newsroom. Also on Galamsey, suspect arrested over attack on City FM journalist granted bail.
Okay.
That's a big story there. The Ghana Statistical Service story is here. Let me take you to My Joy Online. Says that 15,200 nurses cleared. No room for outside recruitment, says Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association spokesperson. Government didn't add MPP government didn't add a kilometer of tarred road in Bodi in 8 years. Interior Minister renews curfew in Boko, imposes a weapons ban. 16 arrested in Kumasi for breaching environmental safety bylaws. Interesting one. Illegal miners have destroyed over 7,500 football pitches of forest reserve. That is from the minister's fact-finding mission, as you called it. Let me take you to other headlines. Bloomberg Africa. U.S. refuses to blame Russia for Ukraine war in extraordinary break with allies. This is,
It's-
I think
it's-
your geopolitical conference must happen.
It's serious. I mean, I haven't heard this in a long time. US and
Yes.
Russia agreeing on something.
Like this. Trump uncertainty jars global economy. This is coming from South Africa's Kia Nyango. If you go to the BBC's homepage, Macron suggests Ukraine truce could be weeks away. The US taking sides with Russia in UN resolutions on Ukraine also makes it to the homepage of the BBC.
There's an interesting story on Citi Newsroom that the informal sector contributes 80% of jobs, but less than 30% of GDP. I'll touch on that later. But let me start with the port. Daily Graphic story by Maclean Kofi. I like it. The government will review taxes, duties, and levies at the local ports to create a favorable business environment and make the country's ports an attractive destination that will draw in businesses from across the West African sub-region. Now, Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Ninkpe, who disclosed this, said this was part of the government's efforts to work with relevant stakeholders in the shipping industry to reduce the rising cost of doing business at the port. You know, yesterday somebody sent me a statement by some port users complaining about the delays in ICUMs. They're saying that sometimes there's downtime in the ICUMs and it slows down their clearing. Now, the minister said government will review laws governing the country's shipping industry to reduce the daunting bureaucracies associated with doing business at the ports. Now, when I was at the COMAC program last week, they also complained about demurrage and how it affects the cost of fuel.
Right.
So the ports have become a bottleneck of inefficiency in the country. Now, during a familiarization tour of the Ghana Shippers Authority in Accra yesterday, the minister said this was part of President's vision to boost economic growth and increase trade competitiveness in the region and the economic reset agenda. Now, there's a story from AGI somewhere pledging to support 24-hour economy. If you can bring that into us, I think it's actually on the same paper, actually, page 13 of the Daily Graphic, and it says that local industries have expressed their readiness to partner the government to revive the country's economy through the 24-hour economy initiative. As a key factor to ensure economic stability for industrial growth, the Association of Ghana Industries insisted that the government must make a conscious effort to prioritize the needs of indigenous businesses, particularly those in manufacturing, to benefit from the 24-hour economy. Now, this were proposals made by the AGI and its members at the to the government during a meeting with Presidential Advisor on Economy, Sir Tekpe, and Advisor on 24-hour Economy and Export Development, Guzi Tano, at the AGI National Council retreat, which was held on February 21 behind closed doors. All right, so those are the stories I picked from the graphic. What do you have in Daily Guide?
I'll
or
take your
Chronicle?
attention to Galamsey. Galamsey war will be retributive, fair, and firm. Amabua is warning here. He says that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofibua, has stated that the war declared by President Mahamad's government against illegal mining Galamsey in the country will be relentless, retributive, fair and firm. Now, according to the Elembele Member of Parliament, the government has made it a priority to salvage all lost forest reserves, restore the color and the quality of bodies destroyed by illegal mining, and also protect biodiversity. He was speaking to journalists after fact-finding mission and a successful operation in collaboration with the Ministries of Defense and Interior to rescue the Shelter Belt Forest Reserve on Saturday, February 22, 2025. The lands minister admonished illegal miners across the country to put down their tools and vacate the forest and river bodies before they are apprehended. Now, the figures are here. I see Joy made that a headline. It says in total, the country has lost about 5,000 hectares. That is 7,500 football fields worth of land.
Give me the update on the guy who attacked a name. This is a story on, I think it's Channel 1 News. Journalists attack, or is it on Citi? There was a story about...
This was on Citi.
You can find it for me.
Newsroom. I wanted to...
It's very important because the thing is that the impunity has to stop.
Yep.
I kind of understand what the minister is doing because, you know, when you want to do a crusade like this, you need to get people within your own government to support you. You need to get people to... Because the thing about Galamsey is that if there's not enough public opinion about it, even if you start dealing with it, the people in the local community will not support you. So to that extent, I understand the movement around. You can't just get up and start implementing things.
I don't, but yeah, let's go on.
Let's get that story.
The one on Enim is here. Suspect arrested over attack on Citi FM journalist granted bail. You'll find that story on citinewsroom.com. The Sankregua District Police has granted bail with surety to Yao Kranchi, the sole suspect arrested so far in connection with the attack on Citi FM's Western Regional Correspondent Akwesi Ajay Enim. The attack carried out by illegal miners linked to the Dabena mining company occurred in the Adomenya forest within the Wasam West district of the Western region.
There was another related story from the Western Regional Minister. He spoke on City Newsroom yesterday, also commenting on Galamsey and essentially warning people in the practice to lay down their tools.
A bit of that is here. Dr. Frank Amwakohene, Ashanti Regional Minister, cautioned that armed miners will not be tolerated and vowed to decentralize the fight, emphasizing that legal mining pathways exist, but illegal activities in forest reserves will not be permitted. The minister also cautioned bankrollers of illegal mining activities and those who attack journalists in their line of duty. This is coming from the Incaria Forestry Division, where they confiscated 15 excavators in the Offenso Shelter Belt. Bernard.
Let me take you to other stories, labor-related ones as well, and I'll take you to the Daily Graphic online, graphic.com. Ghana's workforce not skilled enough to drive economy, as 74% lack education behind junior high school. This according to Professor Babuating. Ghana's productivity is being held back by a poorly skilled workforce, with 74% of workers lacking education behind junior high school. Labour economist Professor William Babuating has said. He warned that this skills gap is a major obstacle to economic growth and the country's ambition to implement a 24-hour economy, a key policy direction of President John Dramani Mahama's administration. Quote, our workers produce an average of $6 per hour compared to $70 in the United States. This gap is too wide if we are serious about achieving economic progress. Now, staying with that same theme, if you go to
Citi Newsroom, there's one around the informal sector and contribution to GDP, even though it employs a lot of people.
Yes, Channel 1 is talking about the Ghana Statistical Service, which has released the inaugural edition of the National Report on Productivity, Employment and Growth, providing crucial insights into labor and total productivity trends from 1991 to 2022. According to the government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim, quote, the key findings indicate that Ghana has achieved moderate labor productivity growth with a notable acceleration between 2010 and 2016 following the commencement of oil extraction. Okay.
All right, let's come to other stories.
Bernard, I'll take you to the western region on the Apremdo Appoint Road. Now, we are told Jasmo eases traffic congestion there. Contractor working on the 23-kilometer Takrady Aguna Kwanta dual carriage road, Jasmo Construction, has assured the public that the main Apremdo Bridge, which is currently under construction, will be open to traffic by middle of March this year to ease traffic congestion on the corridor. Now, for now, traffic on the road from the main Apremdo Bridge to Apollo, which otherwise was terrible, has eased following the opening of the Apremdo lane to motorists. So that is the contractor.
Speaking of roads, the deputy nominee for trade, what's his name? The MP for Bodi has criticized the MPP government for not contributing.
If you go to My Joy Online, Deputy Minister Designate for Trade, Business and Agric and Industry Samson Nahi has refuted claims that roads in the Bodi district of the Western North region were tarred under the previous administration. According to him, not a single kilometer of tarred road was added over the past 8 years. This was during his vetting before Parliament on Monday.
Let me just run through a few stories. Agric is unfocused. Graphic Business has National Economic Dialogue must focus on debt and agriculture. A story by Kwame Lawe. And it's an interesting angle that is quoting some people. Dr. Ajmone Tuahene was interviewed by the paper, and he said that the dialogue should prioritize reducing the rate of debt accumulation, but also focus on improving productivity of agriculture. Now, I'm bringing this up because page 23 of the graphic itself says Central Region poultry farmers decry neglect of industry. So there's a shortfall of 335 metric tons of poultry meat production in the country because the country currently produces just 15 metric tons of the 350 that it needs annually. Can you imagine? Chairman of the Central Regional Poultry Association, Dr. Eric Asamoah-Daku, who made this known at a workshop for poultry farmers at Agona Swedru last Monday, said that as a result of the shortfall, Ghana is over-relying on imported chicken. Now, in the early 80s, he said the Central Region was the hub of poultry production in the country, and that the Pomazi poultry farm, which is close to Winneba, used to produce enough meat and eggs, not only for Ghanaians, but for export. Central Region, he said, used to have over 3,800 poultry farmers, but a lot of them have left the industry, leaving only 1,260 who were left at the mercy of the challenges of the industry. And then he's calling on government to support the poultry industry and basically talking about issues like feed and those other issues. Very, very important subject indeed.
Bernard, cable thieves raid military hospital. The military hospital at Afari in the Ashanti region, which is under construction, has been attacked by known thieves who made away with cables. The theft, which certainly was undertaken under the cover of darkness, was detected around 8 a.m. on February 19, 2025 by the Etiwa Atrima Divisional Police. They announced this. Now, according to the police, the runaway thieves stole quantities of cables from a chamber besides the building number 7 at the hospital and fled with their booty. So far, no arrest has been made, but the police in the area have assured that they are doing everything possible to identify and apprehend the perpetrators so they face the law.
Now, a conversation that is gaining steam is whether to remove the name Kotoka from Ghana's international airport, and yesterday the point of view dealt with that matter as well. Details on Citi Newsroom. Historian Kokoda Kwankwa has thrown the support behind calls to remove Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kotoka's name from Ghana's international airport. His endorsement follows a lawsuit filed by Democracy Hub and the Convention People's Party at the Supreme Court, seeking to strip the airport of the name Kotoka. A lot of people have waded into the debate with their own thoughts. Perhaps later we'll discuss it.
Let me just give you a trend I've noticed. A number of health-related stories with MPs or former MPs sort of either contributing some in kind or at least making statements. So, for example, page 11 graphic, former Ho MP donates equipment to Municipal Health Directorate. So this is Benjamin Komlakodo. Okay. Then if you go to page 18, Lambusie MP donates medical supplies to combat CMS outbreak. So again, Professor Titus Bayu, who is the former GMA General Secretary and now MP for Lambusie Kani, I believe the name is the place, Lambusie, has donated medical supplies and consumables worth 55,000 to the Lambusie Health Directorate. Then the minority leader is also asking government to support the Winnipeg Government Hospital. So we see that trend, a lot of MPs having to supply equipment to hospitals or make calls for support.
Something happening in Kumasi that I'm very happy about. Hope we replicate it in Accra.
What happened?
On my Joy Online, 16 arrested in Kumasi for breaching environmental safety bylaws.
Nice.
16 individuals in Kumasi have been arrested and put before court by the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly for violating environmental safety bylaws. The arrest and prosecution follow a recent enforcement sweep in renewed efforts by the Assembly to tackle rampant insanitary conditions and activities in the Ashanti region.
So tell me what's happening in the U.S. Why is the U.S. supporting Russia?
Well, let me take it to the BBC then. And the U.S. has twice sided with Russia in votes at the UN to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, highlighting the Trump administration's change of stance on the war. First, the two countries opposed the European drafted resolution condemning Moscow's actions and supporting Ukraine's territorial integrity, which was passed by the UN General Assembly in New York. Then they backed a U.S. drafted resolution at the UN Security Council calling for an end to the conflict, but containing no criticism of Russia. The Security Council resolution was passed, but two key U.S. allies, the UK and France, abstained in the vote after their attempts to amend the wording were vetoed.
This is what we call New World Order. U.S. and Russia on the same page. Europe doesn't know what to do. Welcome to 2025. That was a newspaper review.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
7 o'clock City Business News brought to you by MTN, EcoBank, and Goyle. Ashika is joining us with the news. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Coming up, we'll tell you how government intends to close a revenue gap amid plans to scrap key taxes in the 2025 budget. Also coming up, Minister of Transport announces plans to streamline port operations to reduce the cost of doing business. And later, Supreme Court will today hear a case seeking to bar government from engaging in domestic borrowing without prior parliamentary approval. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. With the government set to scrap key taxes in the 2025 budget, concerns are growing over how it plans to close the revenue gap and reduce reliance on donor aid. Facing Veteran Deputy Finance Minister designate Thomas Nyakwampim outlined strategies to address these challenges. Citi Business News' Daniel Sakiti has more in this wrap.
Government's plans to scrap some taxes, including the e-levy, took center stage as Deputy Minister for Finance designate Thomas Ampem Nyako faced vetting. He assured the committee that measures would be taken to control expenditure and boost revenue to bridge the funding gap that will arise from these tax cuts.
There is a VAT gap, a VAT gap of about 61%. What that means is that we are collecting only about 39% of the potential VAT revenue that we can collect. The minister indicated that we will enhance compliance, and so that is what I'm going to help him to do, to enhance compliance in order to rake in more revenue.
On the USAID's decision to withhold funding, he noted that Ghana must begin planning a future without aid.
The only difference between the NIDA and other donor funding and that of the USAID is that the announcement about USAID withdrawal came suddenly, but we have seen the trend that aid is dwindling, and so it is important that we begin to plan our lives without aid and see what we can do for ourselves.
Deputy Finance Minister designate Thomas Ampem Nyako also assured that the government will not resort to public funds to restore the BOG's capital position following the significant losses recorded in recent years.
I have heard people suggesting that we should use taxpayers' money to recapitalize the Bank of Ghana, but I think that in these difficult times it may be too much of a burden on the Ghanaian taxpayer. I'm just hoping and pray that this year maybe BOG will start making profits, so they plow back some of their profit to clear some of the negative equity.
That was a Deputy Finance Minister designate Thomas Nyakwampim ending that report by Daniel Sakiti. Now, economist Professor William Babwatton says increasing capital investment, among other interventions, will be a strong catalyst for the government 24-hour economy, driving productivity and growth. He argues that without sufficient capital injection, businesses and certain sectors of the economy may struggle. Speaking at the launch of the Productivity, Employment and Growth report by the Ghana Statistical Service, Professor William Babwatton stressed the need for strategic investment in key areas to drive growth and productivity.
When you go to industry where capital investment is very high, technology is very high, you also realize that the gap between the average earnings and average labor productivity is large. And if you take service, it falls in between. So it means that if we want productivity to go up, for earnings to be high, then it means that we need to take into account our investment in skilled labor, our investment in capital, and also investment in technology. And if we are able to do this, there's no way we cannot achieve what we want. We are talking about 24-hour economy. It means that we need to invest in capital. We need to invest in electricity. We need to invest in security. We need to invest in all these other areas so that labor can take advantage of the policy to be able to spur growth, to be able to push growth up for Ghana to achieve the development that we are all yearning for.
Professor William Babwatton is an economist. Moving on, the Supreme Court will today hear a case filed by private legal practitioner Jonathan Amable seeking to block the government from engaging in new domestic borrowing without prior parliamentary approval. The legal action, which began in November 2024, challenges key provisions of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, and the Bank of Ghana Act 2002, Act 612, arguing that they may permit borrowing without constitutional oversight. If granted, the case could have significant implications for Ghana's fiscal policy at a time of rising public debt and economic uncertainty. Jonathan Amable, a finance lawyer, is not advocating for parliamentary approval of every Treasury bill issuance, but is calling for a structured pre-approved borrowing program to ensure transparency and compliance with constitutional requirements. The ruling could reshape government financing operations potentially influencing investor confidence and fiscal management strategies. Already for 3 weeks running, the government has been recording oversubscription of T-bills, which has forced interest rates to tumble. In other news, the Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari-Nikwe, has announced plans to streamline port operations as part of effort to reduce the cost of doing business. He made the statement during a working visit to the Ghana Shippers Authority, and Neteli Netiajawu has more in this report.
The sector minister revealed that numerous reports about recurring challenges faced by shippers and shipping service providers have come to his attention. He assured stakeholders that he is committed to addressing these issues.
The ship owners feel that as a regulator, you do not necessarily have to look or act like an asset manager as well. And they feel that there are a lot of bureaucracies in our ports. And for that matter, it makes cost of doing business in our seaports very expensive. The way forward, you are aware that His Excellency the President, during the 2024 electioneering campaign, made a promise of reducing cost of doing business in our ports, and that we are going to come by a revision of our governing laws, the duties, the taxes, and the levies. So we feel that that is an area when we put in place, it will be able to get them to the decision of leaving.
CEO of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Professor Ransford Jampo, said the authority intends to use its new law to streamline activities in the sector.
We have commenced extensive work in preparing a legislative instrument that will shape and guide the implementation of the new act. In going about the preparation, we are still also consulting people, including the shipping line. We are consulting all of them that they make input. But once we are firmed up on the legislative instrument and we commence the implementation of the law, we will do so firmly and fairly.
The Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, who also paid a courtesy call on the CEO of the Shippers Authority, underscored their readiness to help address the sector's challenges. Here is the Executive Secretary of the group, Samson Asaki Awingobit.
We'll give you our fullest support and to congratulate you for your appointment and to say that whether day or night you need the Importers and Exporters Association, we are here to give you that support.
Samson Asaki Awingobet is the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, ending that report by Neteli Netiajawu. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries AGI is calling for targeted policy measures to drive the growth of local manufacturing industries as the government embarks on efforts to reset the economy. According to the AGI, the government flagship 24-hour economy initiative set for full rollout must include strategic support for the manufacturing sector to ensure long-term economic transformation. Addressing the media after a high-level engagement with key government officials during the association's National Council Research Retreat for the 2025, AGI's President Dr. Humphrey Yimdake emphasized the need for bold policy reforms to spur industrial growth.
In summary, we had engagement with the advisor on the 24-hour economy, and the areas of focus were the poultry value chain, the metal fabrication and metal works, textiles, pharmaceuticals that he reiterated, including the oils, vegetable oils, soya bean oils, and cosmetics. To the best of our ability, we believe once he focuses on this and we develop the value chain, the Association of Ghana Industry will be very useful in resetting the economy with government and resetting manufacturing industries. So in the context of the discussion, issues that we believe were militated against our operations, i.e. the forex, taxes, and other related policy reforms were.
You heard that the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Yimdake, speaking there. Now let's have a quick market check on the currency brought across some forex bureaus. The dollar is going for 15 cedis 90 pesos, the British pound at 19 cedis 80 pesos, while the euro is selling at 16 cedis 50 pesos. Remember that these are the rates being offered by the forex bureaus to the public. And that's all for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil. and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchy, mommy my rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got. Dial *770# for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more, dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
$7:13 City Business News brought to you by MTN. Why wait to own your own dream phone when you can have it now without breaking the bank? With MTN Pick Now and Pay Later, you can own your perfect smartphone and pay in easy installments over 4 to 6 months. The best part is all phones come with up to 3 gig data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops you need online. So dial *170#, choose device pick and pay later under the loan menu to start the process with just a small initial deposit. Segment is also brought to you by EcoBank. Don't be scammed this festive season. Fraud activities are on the rise. EcoBank wishes to advise all customers to be extra vigilant and never trust any phone call, text message, or email from anyone posing as an EcoBank staff. Bank account details can only be updated on an EcoBank branch. EcoBank mobile app can only be upgraded at the App Store or the Play Store. Don't share your password, PIN, OTP, or card information or any other personal data with anyone. When in doubt, call our call center toll free 0800 003 225. Kickoff is brought to us by Shell. From planning date nights to making your kids happy with the latest toy and ice cream, these seeming little things make no difference in creating, or make all the difference rather, in creating lasting memories. Good times start at Shell, where you can fill up on more than just fuel. You can fill up on love, laughter, and sumptuous bites and treats from our partner vendors. While you're enjoying yourself with your family and friends, you can also get your car to get the love it deserves. All under one roof. Visit Shell today. Go well. And before the kickoff segment, a happy birthday to Karis Abena Asante. Karis Abena Asante, you're 11 years old today. You attend North Legon Little Campus. You are the girls' prefect, coming in from your dad, your mom, and your brother and sister. To you, Karis Abena Akofua Asante. Happy birthday to you this morning. Mr. Benabu is here. Busy week, midweek of sports. Gabi Ofe.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I want to come back when we win the league finally.
Oh.
Yes.
11 more games to go.
We just need 4 games.
Yeah. You have 7 home games to play.
Arsenal will give us the title by first week of April.
First week of April.
By first week of April, we have won the league.
I think so, because now you need to have about 26 points.
We don't even go into the mass. Arsenal will lose their next 2 games. After that, the league is over.
No, that's not fair.
Oh, they don't have a striker.
No,
they are using the defensive midfielder as their striker.
So that's the Mikel Merino super sub.
Shut too much.
Well, Tuesday morning, time now for the very latest in the world of sports on Kickoff with me, Gabby Affair. We are on the wings of Zonda GH and shall go well. Alright, many thanks for joining me. Let's start off today's update from the Accra Sports Stadium. And the acting director of the National Sports Authority, his name is Seth Palm. His dismissed claims that the venue is unfit for Ghana's World Cup qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar later in March. He's assuring the public that the stadium remains in top condition, having undergone regular maintenance and refurbishment. Reports suggesting otherwise, he said, are misleading.
Yeah, for the Accra Sports Stadium is really very solid and in a very good shape. You know, since the last incident that led to the closure of the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and we put in every effort to refurbish the Accra Sports Stadium, it has still been maintained. It has since been maintained to its standards till date. So, relating to the pitch and the dressing room and everywhere, the stadium is solidly ready for any international competition.
All right, well, speaking of the World Cup qualifiers, the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, of course, the technical advisor for the Black Stars, Winfred Schaefer, arrived in the country last night ahead of Ghana's 2 games against Chad and Madagascar. He met up with Desmond Affair, who is the assistant coach to Otuado. Desmond Affair also doubles up as the head coach for Ghana's under-20 side, the Black Satellite. Well, let's take you to Kumasi, and Asante Kotoko will resume their Ghana Premier League campaign after March 6, following the burial of their late supporter, Nanaya Frimpong, popularly known as Nana Pole. Now, at a press conference earlier yesterday in Kumasi, the club's communications director, Safuduku Esquire, officially announced the decision, stating that the club would return to the pitch after Pole's funeral rites.
And with the mandate of the IMC, I would like to declare that based on the happening so far, Asante Kotoko Sporting Club shall be ready and willing to return to the pitch after the burial and the final funeral rites of the late Nana Yao Frimpong, alias Pole. And we hope that our supporters and all of you out there will agree with us, considering the fact that football is the career of the youth. As I speak to you now, we also have players that we are paying, and at the end of their contracts, we expect that the contracts shall be renewed. Secondly, we are all under CAF, and very soon the GFA will be compelled to submit the participants for next year's CAF and Confederation, like Champions League and Confederation.
Okay, so that's Kotoko's Communications Director, Safo Duku Esquire, speaking. Right there. In relation to that, Instructionman FC also released a statement some few minutes after Kotoko's press conference clarifying their stance following the tragic passing of Nana Pole. Now, during the press conference yesterday, Kotoko dismissed rumors of a Cold War between the two clubs, noting that they had not received any official communication from Instructionman regarding Pole's death. And in statement, Instructionman says their active collaboration with the Ghana police in investigating the circumstances surrounding Pole's death and urging fans and the public to remain calm and patient as the probe continues. While in women's football, Ghana's scheduled friendly game against Roger Casablanca Athletic Women was called off yesterday. The game was expected to take place in Casablanca yesterday. However, news of the cancellation was announced few hours to kick off, and according to the GFA, the cancellation was due to circumstances beyond their control. Remember that the Black Queens lost to Morocco earlier on in the first friendly game, so we'll see what next for Kim Las Bjorkegren's team ahead of the women's AFCON kicking off later this year. Staying with the women's competition, and Chief Executive Officer of Azakes Ladies, Evelyn Isiasari, has expressed concern over the state of football in Ghana, describing it as unprofitable venture.
Because we've gotten the basis wrong. So if FIFA, I don't know if individuals can go to FIFA and tell them this is what you do and it will help us. I think with some of us, because I don't get it. The whole year, how much do you get? You are coming from Takrado to play a game here. You are spending almost 10, 11, 12, 13,000 here. And then at the end of the year, how much do you get? And even the sponsorship, let's say you are being given 50,000, but 50,000 can play only 4 matches for you. Is it lucrative? But some of us, we have entered it, and I don't know whether we have been injected with football and we cannot leave it or what. I don't know. But we don't get anything from it. Football is now business. So, Mr. Minister, I welcome you. Hazakes is welcoming you. And we want to tell you that we want to have a stakeholder engagement with you. Meet with people who have teams, and then we'll express our feelings. We'll talk to you nicely, and then we take it from there. I believe they will be able to do so.
Evelyn Isiasari is the Chief Executive Officer for Hazakes Ladies. Now let's talk about a heated argument between two former Liverpool players last night. Jamie Carragher has been slammed as unforgivably ignorant by former Sky Sports presenter Richard Keys for downplaying the significance of the African Cup of Nations. Carragher suggested that Mohamed Salah is disadvantaged in the yearly hunt for the Ballon d'Or because he cannot win a major international tournament at that level. That came after Salah had bagged a goal and an assist in Liverpool's 2-0 win at Manchester City, extending the advantage over Arsenal to 11 points.
I think the fact he's probably with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance of winning. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally the player who excels in that. You know, you're looking at sort of Vinny Jr. and Mbappe right now, Real Madrid looking really good going for the Champions League. Liverpool will be in that conversation, but right now he's certainly the front runner. And Roy, what you've just said there in terms of getting maybe more trophies and league titles, that could actually put him above probably Kenny Dalglish and Steven Gerrard in sort of where he ranks in terms of Liverpool legends, because I think right now he's right on their shoulders.
Just say AFCON is a major tournament because a lot of people are a bit saying people not taking that. Say AFCON is a major tournament, just so you don't.
No, well, Egypt are not going to win the World Cup, are they?
No, but AFCON is big, wasn't it? Remember when him and Mane was going for it and the league? I'm just saying AFCON.
It's a fact.
Put you in your place.
It's a fact. If you win the Euros or you win the Copa America, it's deemed to be big, so the AFCON's in the same level.
Interesting thoughts. Well, Jamie Carragher's comments did not sit too well with former Manchester United's player Rio Ferdinand.
No, it's picked up a lot of comments, isn't it? When Carragher said about Mo Salah not winning. So to give it a bit of context, he was meant to have said something along the lines of the reason why Mo Salah won't win the Ballon d'Or is because the African Nations Cup isn't of the level of the Euros or a South American Cup or Copa America.
Yeah.
And I think that comment is representative of the majority of people out there would say that. I don't think that's right. I think that's an ignorant kind of thought process, because the African Nations Cup, if you go to Didier Drogba, Abidi Pele, over there Samuel Eto'o, down to the
All these
players
guys.
now, Mahrez, Mo Salah, Mane now,
Yeah.
they'll tell you this is that we have to win this. It's a
Huge.
demand in their countries to win this. Yes, it doesn't get back to resources-wise like Euros, etc. But doesn't that mean that you have to devalue it? It's a continent of huge power, a continent that contributes to European football through players immensely, massively.
All right, don't devalue the AFCON. That's former Manchester United defender Rio Ferdinand to Jamie Carragher. Well, speaking of United will make up to 200 jobs redundant to return the club to profitability. About 250 members of staff were made redundant last year in a first wave of cost-cutting measures by co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And in a meeting with staff yesterday, United Chief Executive Omar Barada informed employees that there will be a fresh round of redundancies as part of a transformation plan. Well, in tennis, Britain's Dan Evans lost to Russian's Karin Khachanov in the first round of the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championship. Evans, who had received a wildcard for the tournament, had won all 5 of their previous meeting, including a 5.5-hour classic and last year's US Open. That's the very latest in the world of sports. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com, and on Twitter, you can find us at citysportsgha. We're back later, 5 p.m. with Sport Flash. Kickoff was proudly brought to you by Zonda GH and Shell. Shell, go well. I am Gabby Ofair. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
Where are you headed today? Techiman, Salaga, Aflao, or beyond? At Shell, we believe your true destination isn't just today's journey. It's about where you want your business, your family, and your dreams to be tomorrow. So Shell Rimula is formulated to help you journey better. With anti-wear additives for ultimate protection, Shell Rimula with advanced Protection Plus technology prevents oil thickening and guards against harmful deposits. Whether it's the heat of the highway or the chill of the morning, Shell Rimula keeps your engine running smoothly and efficiently. Shell Rimula oils help your engine start effortlessly in any weather, because when your truck starts, your journey starts. Lower fuel costs, longer engine life, and smoother operations mean your business travels further and your dreams reach higher. Shell Rimula, the engine oil that works as hard as you. Drive forward. Reach your real destination with Shell Rimula.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
What's your dream this year? To pull up in a brand new 4-wheel ride? Or you want to travel? Where? Sentosa Island in Singapore? Or Desert Safari in Dubai?
Baby, come to Dubai.
Or you want a laptop, microwave, brand new phone, TV? Chale, what you want, you can get with SG Ghana. Minya Ubecha 7Y. Join the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo and you could win the grand prize of a brand new Toyota RAV4. Simply deposit 500 Ghana cedis or multiples of it into your SG Ghana account from now till 30th May 2025. Non-customers can open an account to participate. Visit your nearest branch or call 0302-214-314 for further inquiries. This promo is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
Solar Tech, the power to protect.
Yes! Solartech, your tried and trusted brand, is your total solution to all power problems, whether low voltage, high voltage, power surges, spikes, brownouts, or what have you. Solartech fully protects your valuable equipment. No matter your appliance, we have the perfect Solartech for you. Choose from my tried and trusted range, such as Fridge Guard, TV Guard, High Volt Guard, Multi Guard, AVS 13, AVS 30, AC Guard, Solartech TV Stab, Solartech Fridge Stab, UPS, and Solartech Voltage Stabilizer. Beware of counterfeit Solartech products. Get your genuine Solartech products today at our Abelinkpe office and all our authorized dealers across the country. Contact us at number 10 Yiwa Street, Abelinkpe, or call 0302-761450 or 0302-775106.
Solartech, the power to protect.
Where do your hopes and dreams take flight? The money you've earned, the future shining bright. At Petra, we're not just here for your retirement plan. We are here for the life you've imagined and then some. From your child's education to your dream home's door, we'll help you achieve what you're striving for. Petra is here, steady and strong. Your wealth in safe hands, where it belongs. With investments that grow at rates that compete, we build your future with every heartbeat. That's Petra, your partner. Come joy or strife, guiding you toward the dreams that define your life. For your pensions, investments, loans, and more, visit our website at petraonline.com or call 0242 435037. Petra, achieve more.
Roy, you man, look at you, all grown up, innit? So good to see you, fam. I miss you so much. So good to be back home, bruv, innit? I can see a lot has changed, mate. Home sweet home, innit?
Sit down and let me serve you something delicious.
The food is looking good, fam.
Of course, some things never change. Just like how Gino tomato mix still gives my food that rich color and unique natural taste every time.
Hey, sister. Papupun sanwan kasa. Just like I remember. Inquire. Jollof ne die. Jaika. Eye danka sankasa.
Hey, ente duane na ma ukasa na sisa sisi.
Say Gino die. Efie ni fie.
This advert is FDA approved.
Fly Emirates from Accra to Dubai and beyond and start your holiday on board. Enjoy complimentary food and drink. Explore up to 6,500 channels of entertainment, including live sport. Stay connected with onboard Wi-Fi and relax in comfort with world-class service all the way. You get so much more in Emirates economy. Book your next getaway at emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Rwanda, yeah. Rwanda. They said many are called, a few were chosen, but I wish some wasn't chosen. For the blood spilling of Rwanda, They said me shocking up, then they go. Thrown in the fire, but you never get burned. But I wish some didn't get burned. In Rwanda, They said the man is judged according to his works. So tell me, Africa, what's your worth? There's no money, no diamonds, no fortunes on this planet that can replace Rwanda. Yeah. These are the cries of the children. Anybody hear my cry in America? It's the United States of America. Then why can't Africa be the United States of Africa? Rwanda. And if England is the United Kingdom, then why can't Africa unite all the kingdoms and become the United Kingdom of Africa? Rwanda.
And this is a cry for continental leadership. We need a new Nkrumah in our time. Over 7,000 people have been killed in the Congo in the past few months in renewed fighting. Indeed, very harrowing story of the East African. And I'm really wondering where the leadership is going to come from. There are lots of strong men in the East African zone. We have Yoweri Museveni, M7 is called, the Ugandan president. Because this bickering and fight that really involves DRC and Rwanda is it's been a long battle, a long war actually. Story this morning, the East African is in Kenya. They're reporting Reuters, and let me just read that. As Rwanda-backed rebels closed in on eastern Congo's largest city, retreating army soldiers have been causing mayhem. Right? The headline says that Congo children face lethal violence and rape in the East Congo War. So we're asking for continental leadership here. We're talking South Africa, talking Nigeria, we're talking Ghana, talking Kenya, Ethiopia. They need to get involved and rein the two sides in.
There's no money, no diamonds.
We don't need to wait for the Europeans. I think where the world has gotten to now, everybody's solving their own problem. The American leader has decided that America first. He's even basically told Ukraine that I don't think you guys should be fighting the Russians. So not in as many ways. Let's do what the Russians want and let's have peace. And that's very different from what all US presidents do. So EU's radar is certainly on Ukraine. So this DRC, Rwanda war, I think African leaders must step up. South Africa, Nigeria, Ethiopia. They need to, because I think sometimes these soldiers, the only language they understand is force. And I don't know if the AU standing force is ready or even equipped to do anything in Eastern Congo.
Who's paying?
Which is so sad. To think that we still need external support to solve our own conflicts. I think it's a real disappointment. And while we don't all agree with everything Nkrumah did, his vision for Africa was clear. That if you don't come together to solve these problems, if you don't come together, how do you have 7,000 people killed in less than 2 months? And there's no real clear voice on what must be done. Are we going to allow DRC and Rwanda to fight to the death? How many more children have to die? How many more children have to die? And the thing is that some of these things don't get covered because it's not even, it's not a priority for a lot of international media outlets. So it's almost like a forgotten war. Sudan has been at war for ages. These are the things that should worry our leaders beyond national problems. You get it? So this is a call for leadership. When I interviewed Jacob Zuma, he said he feels the quality, and he can say this, I can't. He says he believes that the leaders who handed over to him were much stronger than the leaders who have come after him. Because he says in his time, the Mbekis, the Kufuors and co had more stature and they were more concerned about continental issues. But he believes that a lot of the leaders now are just focused on their own legitimacy in their own countries and are not able to assert their influence. And then when I interviewed David Fosudote, he spoke about he thinking that Tinubu was a mistake for chairman of ECOWAS because he was fresh and that a more experienced hand would have been useful. So even within West Africa. And a funny thing I noticed, the 3 countries that have left ECOWAS, they all voted in support of Russia yesterday. Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, they all voted for Russia. So something is going on. Something is going on.
And for me, Congo, the DRC will always sadden me because it is the one country that represents the filled potential of an African country. And it's through no fault of it. This is a country that Belgium basically destroyed. King Leopold decided to turn into he turned the whole country into basically his personal hunting grounds. And moved from Leopold to the one person who could have put the country in a certain path.
Obutu?
No.
Before
Patrice
Lumumba. Yeah.
He was dealt with ruthlessly.
He was killed, yes.
By all kinds of parties, again, because of what the country has. Every kind of mineral that is important to the world
is in that country.
You will find in that country.
Yeah.
So the interests there are so varied that it just cannot allow the country to breathe. Uganda is there. Uganda wants influence. Rwanda is there. Rwanda says it is protecting its people in Eastern Congo who are Rwandophones. You have the country itself that has struggled with finding a proper leader. Yeah. So they had Mobutu for a long time, but Mobutu was basically pillaging the country by himself. We went from him to
forget his name. Yeah,
the one I forgot.
The war guy.
Yeah, plus his son.
Yes,
and then we've had Chikesedi also from the same crop.
Kabila is
yes, the two Kabilas. We had the two Kabilas.
Yeah,
his son. I don't want to say he did a decent job because
there was a bit more stability when his son
him.
was there.
Yes, but I don't say he did a decent job, because if he did a decent job, the country will be stronger. Post you, but we have Tshisekedi, who again has a problem where half the country doesn't trust him.
Yeah,
and the other half too. He hasn't also proven to be a consistent leader. He's quite erratic.
Let me ask you a question.
What he says.
If you were to apportion
blame
the reason for which DRC is where it is between external forces trying to destroy a country and the country's own people's mindset, what would it be? Because I feel like every country or every race has faced opposition, and somehow the ones that have not done well are the ones whose internal makeup has been exploited. What I'm trying to say is, nobody can come and destroy you if you are together. And I think our problem as Africans is that we are too selfish, and we are not willing to accommodate the difference we have with others for the greater good. There's no way Belgium will succeed in DRC if there is no suspicion among the ethnic groups. All right? There's no way. Right now we're having a fight between people in Rwanda and DRC. Even the East African leaders don't trust each other. And yet they trust people from other places who do worse things to them. Do you get me? Like, the history of the past 300 and 400 years has been a history of essentially the West pillaging the rest of the world. You get it? But somehow, as we sit here, the AU doesn't even have a proper standby force to say, look, what's the name of the guy? Rwandan president and DRC, guys, let's call a truce and let's talk. South Africa doesn't have the muscle to say, hey guys, let's meet in jail. They can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, how? How did we get to a point where we can't even call each other for a conversation? And even if we did, it's only moral suasion. There's no military force to back it. Yet you have soldiers to beat your own people to vote, beat your own people to do all kinds of things. You have had almost 60 years of independence as a continent. You've not been able to build a force to defend yourself against external aggressors. Like, there's a big problem there. It's a massive leadership failure. And I feel like it's our mindset around, look, whether, and even in Ghana, okay, so here we are talking politics. People are so petty, and they do it happily if it suits them. We can never be great if all we think about is, I am Ewe, he is Akan, he is Dagbani. Do you know what I'm saying? It for me is a problem. Because in a small space like DRC and Rwanda and Uganda, we can't even have.
DRC is a massive country. It's not a small space.
No, I mean, I get you. What I'm trying to say is, like, I am at pains to say, look, we have let ourselves down, and the external aggressors exploit our mindset, which is our weakness, because the way we think determines the way we lead, and the way we lead essentially determines the way people follow. So we have not built buffers, economic buffers, military buffers, nothing. So 7,000 people have been killed in Eastern Congo, and it's not even front page news.
Oh, it is. It is.
Go to BBC today. What's the big story?
They are dealing with the US.
Go to CNN today. Go to Al Jazeera today. Let's pick the big ones. Even go to CTGN. The big stories globally are not, apart from the Africa-focused media, the DRC situation is a massive issue.
It is.
But it's not You check the website.
It hasn't been consistent, but I think that, let's be fair, the coverage of the conflict has
even
been consistent.
media is part of it, because you see, this is the other thing I say, and I always tell Africans that, you see, you think that by having a weak media, you are destroying your own continent, because you see, the storytelling power of Al Jazeera for the Middle East, there's no African equivalent.
No.
The storytelling power of CNN for the liberal view of the West, there's no African equivalent. The storytelling power of BBC for the British agenda, there's no African equivalent. You get it? Because we don't understand what power means. We don't understand what sacrifice and the greater good means. Everybody's thinking about themselves and their small personal interest. Okay, and that's for me the problem. So you will never be great if you don't understand the power of storytelling. You know, the people in the Middle East had money. Fine, not everybody in the Middle East likes Al Jazeera, but they are a very powerful alternative view of the way the world works. So if you want to see three angles to an issue, you go to CNN, you go to BBC, you go to Al Jazeera, you go to CTGN. Where's the African equivalent? Because we are so divided. Everybody's Ghanaians, I think Ghana, Nigeria is Nigeria, Congo is Congo. And even within Nigeria or within Congo, I'm Igbo, I'm Yoruba, I'm whatever. And even within, you understand, even within your own voter region, they are Anglo and Bedome. Yeah. Go to Ipiche, they are fighting. You get it? You can't even sacrifice, like we don't, if you want to rule, if you want to be respected globally, you must be prepared to sacrifice many things. I'm telling you. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have differences as people, though. You can have differences, but you don't express it in a way that allows your opponent to exploit it to your disadvantage. That's what we've done. That's what we've done. We use it for politics. Even in churches. You go to churches, they say we are from the north, we are from here. In a church. Like that. And I feel like it's the way we've been educated, the way we've been trained to hate ourselves. And until you get out of that mindset, you know, it's funny. When we go to Europe, then we know that an African is my brother. But when you're an African is your enemy. When I'm in the UK, I see somebody of my skin color. Oh, Charlie, my brother, how are you? Oh, what are you doing today? That one, you know, is your brother. But when you come back to Africa, he's your enemy. That is the problem. And for me, the Nkrumah conversation, that's the heart of the issue. That's the heart of the issue. That the African has allowed himself to be at the base of global respect. Whether it's economics, whether it's finance, whether it's literature, with a history, media. We've not, and it's because internally we have dysfunction. And we need to admit that. You see, colonialism did a lot of things to us, and we can blame it. But the truth is that we also allowed it. And if you don't accept responsibility, you are not mature. So long as you can blame everybody else for your poor performance in mathematics. So you have a child who's not doing well in math. Why are you not doing well in math? Oh, the teacher doesn't like me. The blackboard is not clear enough. I have a headache. Math is not a good subject. You can have all the excuses, you still not do well. The day you say, I have what it takes to be the best in math, that's when you begin to wake up. The African hasn't woken up yet. You see. Now, that's not to say people have not contributed to our downfall, but until we take responsibility for our own affair, Trump is a big opportunity. He says he's withdrawing USAID. No problem. Take your money. Build from within. Build buffers. Okay? They won't give you aid, IMF, whatever they want. Let them do. If you don't build resilience internally, you can never be great. And let's stop looking for validation everywhere. Traveling to conferences abroad for them to say you are doing well. We don't need that. If you are doing well, we know. We don't need commentaries and books written about what we are doing. Sometimes you need to close out to do well. This is a good opportunity for Ghana. New president, election cycle over. Let's close our ranks as a nation. Let's solve our economic problems. Everything should not be politics. Because other nations are looking to us. Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia. A lot of the technical things we do here, we can go and do there, help them. But we need to do our own things well. Let's close ranks. All right? But the enemy of the African is himself. He's so divided, so selfish, so short-sighted. You know? So he doesn't really value his own freedom.
It's been a mind game, hasn't it been? So that you use the African against the African. If you deploy that for a very long time, you're trying to sell your fellow African to the white man so that you get validation and resources and all of that. If that is done to you for a very long time and you've been where you've been, it can be difficult to think. I think we have not consciously tried to undo the mental part of the damage that the slave trade did to us. I mean, yes, if you look at the borders, the artificial borders we see on the African continent, for example, you meet other African and you realize that the food we eat, the languages we speak, and identity, we're essentially the same people. So really, the mind game is what we have not excelled at doing. And we are still living in our small silos and cubicles, and we see ourselves as enemies. And truthfully, sometimes until you step out of here, you might think that some of the concepts that people have about us is true. So we really, as you've said, need to use the media, which is number one, to do a lot of re-education. Because, I mean, if you take a lot of our history books, it appears our existence only started when the white man came here. But why is that so? But again, who is writing our history for us to read? If someone else is writing our history, then certainly we are going to be living their narrative. And a lot of the history that even we ourselves are writing, we are very divided over them. Today we are still debating about J.B. Dankwa Kwame Nkrumah and whether this was that or... Of course, those debates are necessary intellectually and all. But if you're looking for a forward-looking conversation and all of that, what is the Ghanaian identity? What is the African identity? Where are we going? What are we doing for ourselves?
We'll try and use the Heritage Month to deal with some of those
Very
things.
important.
Just wanted to remind everybody with the song that there's a very, very serious war going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The eastern side.
Yes, Goma, to be precise. Rebels called the M23, who are allegedly supported by Rwanda, who deny the claim, are basically trying to take over that part of the country. And they are unleashing mayhem on their own citizens in the name of power. You know? Now, I need to digress and say that if we don't deal with Galamsey, because you see, conflict likes chaos, anarchy, and illicit money. This government needs to be very serious about using the force of state to deal with Galamsey. Because as soon as people can get access to gold, chase journalists, chase police away from a place, get access to weapons, the next thing you know, they'll take over a city. So we are playing with fire in allowing Galamsey to be coddled with. Everywhere there's conflict, there's also natural resources, generally, up for grabs. So I really want to urge this government not to joke with this Galamsey issue. I think this government should bring the full force of the state to clamp down on it ruthlessly. Restore order in mining communities. Take charge of the place. And let net people know that you cannot continue wantonly and with impunity destroying our water resources. Somebody said Ghana is the only country not having war that deliberately poisons its own water. And what is happening is because you see, once your sub-region is insecure, there are rebels in Burkina Faso, some in Mali and Niger, and they realize that in Ghana you can bring weapons and excavators and come and mine and don't do anything to you once you pay a bribe to the DC or 1 or 2 ministers in your pocket. That's the recipe for disaster. So I understand Godfrey's frustration with the lack of action, because if you see it from the angle we see it, this is not the time for just speeches. I understand that when you take over a new position, you must think through your action. But we need more decisive action, because we are playing with fire. I'm telling you, we are playing with fire. How people... Enim was in a mining community at the request of a landowner. Enim asked for 5 police to go with him, and there were about 6 or so journalists. Yet, one security man mobilized people to come and attack them.
And they overpowered the police.
Their police couldn't do. And apparently, the police knew the people. You get it? To a point where your security people know people involved in this type of activity and can't do anything about it. I mean, all you did is one upstart with money from a renegade country to say, I've taken over 10 mines and I've declared my new law. You're at war. So, Mr. Mahama, this Galamsey thing is not an election winning thing. You have to let the Galamseyers know who's boss. You want a very resounding mandate. 2/3 of the country voted for your MPs. So you can't play around it. If it's state of emergency, declare it.
Quick.
If it's reinforcement, do it.
Quick.
If it's revoking licenses, do it. If it's changing laws, change it. You cannot have our water bodies polluted, our forests decimated in this crazy manner in a sub-region like Ghana and think this business as usual. No. The honeymoon, yes, appoint your ministers, put people in position. But Galamsey, you have no choice. I have 3 minutes. Let me play what Kofi Boa said in the Ashanti region to gauge the context of whether he's in alignment with where we are with this issue. Because he and the Ashanti regional minister, after a tour of some places, spoke to the media. I want to hear him. From there, we'll come back and get the Western regional minister's views on Galamsey. But we're saying, Ghana, stop playing with fire. Here's Kofi Boa speaking about Galamsey.
The president will not call anybody or shield anybody. And that's why we are here. So we are empowering you to do your job. Let me use the opportunity to also warn those who attacked these journalists in the last few days. Your time is up. I understand that they've arrested a few of them. We are working with the police to make sure that all those who are involved in the very hard-working CTFM reporter, Kwesi Anima J and his people, should be brought to book and be punished. Be punished to serve as a clear example that for those who are fighting to keep us alive, we will not allow anybody to touch them. If you are a Ghanaian and you look at this level of devastation and you will not stand up and fight, then I don't know what you fight for. This is war. War at the heart and soul of our survival as a people. And everybody must be on board. Enough is enough. This morning they have been arraigned before trial. I've just been called by the police in the Western region, for example, that the 7 Chinese and their 8 accomplices are being put before trial. We've also had an engagement with the judiciary, the Chief Justice. We've been giving the assurance, the strongest assurance. We've even proposed to them that we need dedicated courts to prosecute those who decide that they are going to continue on this path, so that we can have a fast-track justice done. The people of Ghana want the right things to be done. Think about it. Look around you. If Ankobra is gone, if the Ofin is gone, all the other major river bodies, the 3 water systems in Ghana are gone. We don't have a country anymore. So my friends, join us in this fight. We are not stopping. And let me say it again. This fight is going to be relentless. We are moving from one forest to the other, one water body to the other, until those bad guys are all captured and their equipment seized. By the way, the president has given us clear instructions on equipment, that those equipments must be guarded, must be put to good use. And indeed, that's exactly what has been done. And so we are going to have enough equipment for the, is it a drill? What do you call the program? The drill. We add more drill equipment. And so I think that's what is going to happen. But we'll keep at it, because we strongly believe that is the reason why the people of Ghana brought us here. And for those who have doubts about our commitment to this fight, please trust us. We are going to fight all the way to the end for doing the right mining. But we are not going to spare anybody who ventures to do illegal mining in our forest reserve, and we've made it clear. In the coming weeks, you will see steps being taken by the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology to Parliament, basically forever repeal 2463, taking away even the power of the President to grant anybody license to mine in forest reserve. It is gone. There is not going to be any more. And so my message today, having reclaimed this shelter belt on the Fin, is to all of the thugs that are in all the other 43 forest reserve. We are coming to you. We are coming after you. You have a choice. You leave now, or we arrest you and your co-conspirators. And let me say that a lot of them, the chain of people who are involved, the investigation has commenced, and thanks to the effort of the investigators, we are tracking them all the way to their financiers and to those who sell or rent those excavators. They are all going to face the full rigors of the law. This fight is not going to stop tomorrow. We are going to fight, and I believe with the support of the people of Ghana, claiming our forests one at a time, reclaiming our water bodies once at a time. We are vowed, and the president is determined. And let me warn those who, when we arrest Chinese citizens, will try to call. Yesterday, I got one of those calls. I tell them, you've done it before, but this will not happen.
So Galamsey should not be seen just like an environmental nuisance. It's a national security threat. The existence of the state is at stake. We don't need rhetoric. I think a stronger statement would be a few high-profile arrests and high-profile jailings to send fear down the spine of these evil people who are destroying our country. So we'll come back to this. It's 2 minutes past 8. Tech and Social Media Trends is next. Susu Graham is already here. Sponsored by
First Bank Ghana, Telecel, sending money to the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone has never been this easy, convenient, and exciting. Now, through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, perhaps you can send and receive money from the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone in minutes for business and personal purposes. All you will need is to visit any First Bank Ghana branch nationwide with your cash, and your money is transferred in no time. To receive money, you will need a First Bank Ghana account. It's one way we'll put you first. Call to find out more. 0596921921 is the number. Now, if you're looking for the best value data and voice offers that are tailored to your unique needs, at Telecel we understand everyone has their own preference. That's why we have the unbeatable Made For Me bundles made just for you. The Made For Me bundles are affordable, customized data and voice packages personalized for you. Simply dial *530# to download the Telecel Play app to subscribe to your special Made For Me bundle. Telecel, connecting energies.
So it's 4 minutes past 8, and let's get into the segment with Susu Graham.
Yes, so tech and social media trends. So very interesting things trending. So the first trend is the AFCON. AFCON is trending because Jamie Carragher and Micah Richards and Daniel Sturridge had a discussion on Sky Sports where Jamie Carragher said that if Salah won the AFCON, it wouldn't really impact his chances of winning the Ballon d'Or. And Micah Richards disagreed. And Jamie Carragher made some funny facial expressions when Micah Richards said the AFCON is a major tournament. So he had to come and defend himself. And
Jamie Carragher's punditry is as bad as his football. Oh, come on. It's not.
I don't think that's fair. He made a mistake.
It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. He doesn't know anything about Africa.
That's why I say it's a mistake in his punditry.
That's ignorance. That's not a mistake. A mistake is different from deciding that you don't want to know.
Yeah, but when I say he made a mistake, I mean he's talking about something he's not qualified to in that situation. But
I don't think he accepts he made a mistake, because if you read his tweets from last night, he doubled down.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying he made a mistake. I'm not saying he's saying he made a mistake. I'm saying he made a mistake.
No, I'm saying we can't say he made a mistake. See, he's being ignorant.
That's the point. And Micah Richards is
because
correcting him.
If you are correct, you say something, you're corrected, and then you come back and double down.
Jamie,
I thought he was wrong.
Jamie Carragher Isha. As a footballer, Isha as a fan.
This one is a bit much, but I disagree. But you let's say, so he's in the trend. Carragher is in the trends. The AFCON Twitter account has also been tweeting about it, using major and every tweet they've been tweeting. So it's been very, and a lot of people have been correcting him, of course. So another person who's trending on the light of the 59 years of the coup, Kotoka is trending.
Back in the trends.
Yes, Kotoka is trending. Naturally, you can see that people are asking for the name of the airport to be changed. And obviously, some people are saying this is not necessary.
Has there been any poll on this online? To be nice to see.
I've not seen a poll.
Maybe I've seen two different polls.
And what are the numbers?
The no's are around 10%.
So mostly everybody wants the name change.
I think there's a lot of Nkrumah support in recent months and years that's coming up. So I think the anti-Kotoka sentiment.
I actually think the longer we live, the more Nkrumah gets vindicated. So a lot of young people sort of, even though they haven't seen him, based on the things they've heard and read about him, he's the people's favorite.
Yes. And Jose Mourinho is trending.
Why?
So last night, there was the Intercontinental Derby, Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray.
How is that Intercontinental?
Because they're on the two sides of the Bosphorus.
Istanbul.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so one is in Europe, one is in Asia. So
Fenerbahce versus who?
Galatasaray.
What was the score?
0-0.
I watched the game and the intensity.
Which is the biggest team? Is it Fenerbahce, Besiktas, or Galatasaray?
I think Galatasaray and Fenerbahce are the two biggest teams. I would say Galatasaray might be slightly bigger. I think they've won more league titles. They've won the UEFA Cup.
Where did Sinapia play?
Fenerbahce.
Where did Andre play? Andre went there for
He also played Fenerbahce, yeah.
Okay.
So, but Jose Mourinho is trending for the wrong reasons. Galatasaray have accused him of racism because in his post-match press conference, he said the Galatasaray bench were jumping up and down like monkeys, and the referee didn't do anything about it.
Oh,
so the Galatasaray management have decided that they are going to.
But how jumping up and down like monkeys? How does that?
They said that they have black players on the bench. So
come on.
That's the only thing I can assume that they are saying, because so he's being charged with. So they want him to be investigated and punished for racism.
Maybe we should get the context. Maybe the context was.
But you see, he said
I'm saying the context was offensive.
They said it's racism. They've said specifically that it's not that
they were jumping up and down
offensive.
like monkeys.
Yes, that's what he said, and they said it's racism. So
wow.
Naturally, Jose Mourinho is in the trend. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But I'll be very surprised. I think you even see a lot of former players, black players, come to speak up for him and his character.
I don't think Mourinho is necessarily racist.
I'll be very surprised.
If you look at coaches and their use of black players, Mourinho has been one of the most
Exactly.
You know. So I think it's a bit of a, I don't know. Anyway.
So then in tech news, there's a petition in Canada to remove Elon Musk's Canadian citizenship.
Oh Lord.
So people have started, 200,000 Canadians have signed the petition so far, because Elon Musk's mother is Canadian. She's from Saskatchewan. So he's
and
a
his
Canadian.
Father is South African.
Yes.
And yet he's in the US government.
Yes. So Canadians don't want him to be part of them because he keeps supporting Trump's plans to annex Canada and make it the 51st state. And they don't.
So his mom is Canadian.
Yes. In fact, his father explained actually his great-grandfather and great-grandmother are also Canadian, and they moved to South Africa, I think, in the early 1900s, 1800s, something like that.
It's just a problem.
Yeah, so they are not a fan of that. And another piece of tech news: Apple have decided to invest $500 billion in the U.S. economy.
$500 billion.
Yes, in the U.S. economy over the next 4 years. So I think in response to all these things to do with tariffs and that kind of stuff, if a lot of Apple manufacturing happens in China. So when all these things about tariffs are coming, it could increase the price of iPhones and other things. So Apple might be thinking forward and thinking that investing in the US economy might be a way to bypass these tariffs. So it looks like
$500 billion.
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. I don't know the GDP of Africa. It's like $1 trillion. I don't know. Yeah. It's too much money. Anyway, Susu, thank you as ever. Check on social media trends with Susu Graham.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter Angela. Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello sir, Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly, and send Telecel Cash for free to my dear ones. We keep the connection stronger when our
family, friends, and business relations are happy. Make free Telecel cash transactions every day, anytime from your Telecel cash wallet to your loved one's Telecel cash wallet. Save on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
You're looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Wouldn't we say to bank baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe, universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no many time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt, they tell me office is chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best, I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west, everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feed do, I'm like us, do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first, treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first, think about you first.
You first, First Bank.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Did you know that worms take away nutrients from the food you eat? Just listen to them.
Brothers, yesterday the food nice, huh?
Oh yeah, the trouble woman there, she did try wa.
Charlie, something come on. It be food.
It did taste like banana.
Make a taste some. Make me try a taste, make a taste. Hey, something is doing me.
Something is doing me too.
Oh, it be Vermox.
Vermox banana flavored dewormer is available in both suspension and tablet and is suitable for children and adults. It's good for you, bad for worms. Not recommended for children under 2 years and pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
You are starting life, you want financial freedom. You know where to go for your child's education, financial freedom. We got solutions just for you. For your retirement plan, employee wellness and benefits. Old Mutual, your preferred insurer. Old Mutual is the best.
What are you waiting for? Come and join us. Call us on 030-7600. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
Do great things every day. Do great things every day.
Hey, dear Newsroom, sir. And stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. You're sending this say, but you hear my tina watch it. Newsroom, it's now watch it. No, be a baby, someone some demon in us say, dear Newsroom, say. Fair quiet, yes, in Biara Association Ontario. Use stay soft and Newsroom, it's now watch it. Nanny boss to tap from cry. A fabric softener. And you near say, sir. Choose to stay soft. No, so say, you know. FDID, a dreading crowd to yatu.
This year, something magical is happening. A celebration of tradition, flavor, and community. Welcome to the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025.
Taste the heart of your heritage with mouth-watering dishes from across the country like Ademe with Akple, Tozafi with Ayoyo soup, Kokonte, Apopranta, Rare Quine, and many more. From rich spices to sweet treats, it's a journey for your senses. We're taking you back to your village.
Oh yes, let's recreate our age-old recipes.
But it's not just about food, you know. We're celebrating culture, connecting with family, and making memories that last a lifetime.
This March, let's come together and discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 29th and 30th of March 2025. The venue, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day.
The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025, where food, fun, and tradition meet. See you there.
Interested vendors should call 0558 973 973 or 0205 973 973 to register. The Batia Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
I'm gonna lie. What I'm just saying to I'm going to be here. No check that no one can. I'm gonna money. I am a new home. Who got that in them? I'm what you want to drink.
Ajua, Mr. Atu and the family will be visiting us today.
Really? But who is picking them up?
Oh, I've asked Yao Taxi to go get them. But do you know he got a new car after the accident?
How? Within a week?
Yes, oh. I'm told he insured his car with Sunu Assurances.
Sunu? I heard my boss discussing them in the office. But we also insure. Yes, please come in. Oh, Mr. Ato, you're welcome.
Guys, I overheard you talk about insurance.
Yes, so Kwame was talking about how the taxi driver got
When it comes to insurance, you need a reliable partner, and that's Sunu Assurances. I have been with them all these years, and they always come to my rescue. Look, they have packages as motor, marine insurance, and other policies, and they are even running a promo that comes with a lot of souvenirs.
Guys, then let's all go to the office now.
Hey, Adwa, take your time.
Let's go.
All you need is to either call them or send them a message on 055-257-1980. With Sunu, you can be rest assured that your future is assured. Buy insurance now.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
This is Citi 97.3.
There's a train that comes from Namibia and Malawi. There's a train that comes from Zambia and Zimbabwe. There's a train that comes from Angola and Mozambique. From Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland, from all the hinterlands of southern and central Africa. This train carries young and old African men who are conscripted to come and work on contract in the gold and mineral mines of Johannesburg and its surrounding metropoli. 16 hours or more a day for almost no pay. Deep, deep, deep down in the belly of the earth, when they are digging and drilling for that shiny, mighty, evasive stone, or when they dish that mishmash food into their iron plates with an iron shovel, or when they sit in their stinky, funky, filthy, flea-ridden barracks and hostels, and they think about the loved ones they may never see again, because they might already have been forcibly removed from where they last left them, or wantonly murdered in the dead of night by roving and marauding gangs of no particular origin. We are told
18 minutes past 8. This is Hugh Masakela. Calls this one Stimela. You know, as I say, you know, they don't make musicians like this anymore, Charlie. These are the social commentators who also had rhythm to tell a fantastic story.
They always cuss and they curse the coal train that brought them to Johannesburg.
Reflections on Africa, discussions on Galamsey, and arguments over the airport. All of that on the show for the next hour. But next time you fly from Accra, why don't you fly better with Emirates? In Emirates economy, you can enjoy endless entertainment on board up to 6,500 channels to choose from. So sit back, relax, and watch latest Hollywood and Bollywood blockbusters, comedy box sets, or even live sport. You can even stay connected with onboard Wi-Fi so you can chat with friends and family and share holiday selfies from 40,000 feet. Enjoy more convenience and flexibility with Emirates. Go to emirates.com for more information. Old Mutual is offering you financial freedom, peace of mind, and smooth retirement planning. These are not just mere phrases. This is the DNA of our very being. We are the insurance company that cares for what truly matters to you the most. Join us by calling 0307 000 600 or visit oldmutual.com.gh for more information. Old Mutual, do great things every day. And Volkswagen wants to be part of every moment of your life, whether you're starting a family, moving for a social gathering, or even dealing with an emergency, or taking a road trip with family and friends. The new Terramont will carry all your special moments in its renowned spacious 7-seater, 3.6-liter V6 engine, maximum power of 280 horses. Oh yes, selling over 712,000 CDs. Call 025 795 6688. We also have the Virtus, the T-Cross, the T1, the Allspace, the Terramont, and the Amarok pickup. Volkswagen, rise and thrive.
Now, if you're looking for litigation-free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate. They specialize in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. With properties in prime areas like Abri and Accra, land starts at 90,000 cedis. We offer flexible payment plans, affordable homes ranging from 2 bedrooms, premium furnished apartments for short rentals in East Airport. We are at Cantonments, opposite Soul Clinic International School. Call us 055 755 5909 or 0272778880. Send us an email, info@Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams. Now, are you ready to drive innovation and take the next step in your career? Apply for Ashesi University's master's programs, which combine world-class education with African relevance. Regardless of your career aspiration, an Ashesi master's program equips you with the skills, ethics, and network to lead boldly. Applications are open for our 2025 cohorts. Learn more at ashesi.edu.gh.
Well, we started off by lamenting the situation in this Eastern DRC and calling for strong African leadership, also asking for Africans to unite beyond the rhetoric. And then we linked it to Galamsey, that if you allow impunity to go unchecked, you are creating a recipe for civil unrest. Galamsey is a big problem that the government has to show force in dealing with. Now, before we hear from the Russian Regional Minister, here are some of your comments on what we've been discussing so far.
Okay, so
go
it says, good morning.
Morning.
Guys, we need to understand that this thing called Africa is a construction of the white man. We are different people trying to live together based on the composition of the white man, that is borderlines. What Africans need to find is a common ground and a common purpose. This is difficult because the invisible hand is killing us. The Nigeria war from Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
The AU itself is controlled by external forces from funding to decision making. My dear Bernard, Africa's problems are temporary. State building is not a joke. In the parts of the world that we admire for their stability and economic prosperity passed through the same stage. They had it even worse. We'll get to better over time. On the other hand, I don't think Congo as it is a viable country. It needs to be split along ethnic lines to allow the sort of centralization we are looking forward to happen in a more homogeneous environment. That's just another. You are just opening the doors again.
Yeah. Interesting thought there. You remember Sudan? They had all their problems. They split. The two are still fighting. South Sudan is not at peace. Neither is the Sudan itself. So splitting doesn't end wars if you don't have that internal coherence and good leadership.
Cola from New Jersey in the USA. Hey, Cola, you're not asleep.
He's awake.
The problem is self-inflicted. We have leaders who are preoccupied with their own selfish interests. My professor in college aptly calls it big fishes in small ponds.
It's true. Yeah, he has a point there.
We the people from IFA, says Bernard, you just hit the nail on the head. We must have a global African broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's poisonous to view, apprehend the world through the lenses of others.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. I mean, I was watching Arise News on Nigerian television during the election. Charlie, the people send reporters to cover conflict in other parts of the continent too, and they were like, they had a correspondent in the US, White House. Like, Charlie, wow, these guys are big. Bigger is not better, but certainly it helps to get things done across the continent.
Let me take you to the Western North region where this one says, I work with a timber firm.
Yeah.
There are legitimate forest compartments we cannot access because illegal loggers have overtaken the place and they have gun-wielding guards who speak French. This is
read it again.
Western North. It says there are
Read it again.
legitimate forest compartments we cannot access because illegal loggers have overtaken the place and they have gun-wielding guards who speak French. If you listen to Akwesini's report yesterday, he made reference to this, where he said some of the major timber companies have grown timber that they cannot even enter the forest to access because if you go, you go and face illegal miners. Good morning, Kwame. Good morning. This is Thomas in Afin. Says you asked a very simple but important question. Why do we do this to ourselves? We do this to ourselves because we are very dishonest, insincere, and shameless people. It's therefore not surprising that we are in this mess as a nation. Okay, Thomas, who is sending this message?
That's what I was going to. Who's Kwame?
Bernard, good morning.
Morning.
What's the Ghanaian dream? Do we have one? What are the aspirations? What are our aspirations as a people? These are questions Richard Bansa.
I know the Ghanaian dream.
For me, if I merge the Nkrumah speech and you merge General Assassini somewhere in there, it's very clear what we are supposed to do.
I'll tell you the Ghanaian dream is to have a house in East Legon. Your V8 are when you're in traffic, turn on your hazard and drive through. That's what people want.
Coming from Bristol, UK, you're just wicked. Good morning, Bernard. Guys, the issue of African identity runs deep. I believe it should start with us. Ask any young man, and indeed those of you in the studio, a simple question. What team do you support? 99% will mention a Premier League team or a European team. We had a president whose favorite team was an English Premier League team. The passion with which we discuss Liverpool and Arsenal is not the same as the passion we used to discuss Kotoko and Brekum Arsenal. Let's start with appreciating our own and be proud of it. Thank you.
This one, dear.
That's coming from Bristol.
Good morning, Mr. Avle and team. We as the people have refused to acknowledge what Galamsey really is. It is chemical warfare. And until we respond brutally with the state's maximum force, it's just a matter of time before we are doomed. Jasper from Sapeman. Mosato from South Senchi in Eswojaman.
I like where I'm getting comments from.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the corners people are listening to this show from is really heartening. Right. Good morning to you from
he says
South Senchi.
South Senchi in Eswojaman.
Yeah, correct.
He says, please, talking about this link, the calls that the minister is receiving, can't he trace and expose the links?
Yeah.
Or we are still going to cover up the Galamsey campaigns and be chasing the boys for scapegoats.
Bede. We'll not allow that.
Help us all. It's more Santos' message. Good morning, guys. You mentioning Nkrumah right now just brought back the museum. I remember you talked about it on your show a few weeks ago, and they said work was being done. Bernard, I was there on Saturday with my nephew to take pre-birthday photos. The place is still not. No work done on the fountain. Next month is Ghana Mouse. I was feeling shy.
Charlie.
But I thought they had done some work that
on
we
the fountain,
provided updates on.
No, you see, when you go with a journalist and a camera,
clean is just
you see. That's why sometimes you have to go when nobody's watching.
Yeah, you have to just surprise.
Like I did the first time.
Yeah, you see, sometimes people think journalists react concerned, but you see, if you want to see the true state of a thing, you don't go through the front door.
Isn't this what our house masters used to do in boarding school?
Yeah.
When they want to check you, they don't come. When they know that they'll come at some random time. You just walk in and start looking around.
Charlie, we had the house master. It reminds me, the Ramsey house master, Hypolite Nazik. You know, that was his name.
Hypolite Nazik.
Yeah, he taught French.
His real name?
Yes, Hypolite Nazik.
From Côte d'Ivoire?
No. He was from the northern parts of the country.
Okay.
Bernard, don't want to face Mr. Nazigo. But he had this trick where in the evening, lights out, 10 p.m.
You go and hide.
Which hide? You know what the lights go off? He wears the school uniform.
And you appear like a student.
So you are there, you are chatting, and he's also standing
there. He's small. Is he a small?
Yeah, and then you are chatting, he's also chatting. And then you check, hey, Mr. Nazik. So slap me. Chop.
All right, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson is calling for a regulatory approach to address illegal mining due to challenges in the licensing system. He revealed that 11 out of 14 metropolitan municipal and district assemblies in the region have been affected by Galamsey. Speaking on Channel 1 Newsroom, he reaffirmed his commitment to collaborating with stakeholders to tackle the issue and reduce its impact on communities. So here is Joseph Nelson speaking.
Illegal mining is on the rampage, destroying our water bodies, and the environment generally. And so if you take the 14 MMDA, that's the Metropolitan Municipal and District Assemblies, just about 3 out of them that are free from the illegal mining menace. The rest of them are all, ravaged by this serious, challenge that we have on our hands. And so, yes, I heard the earlier speaker mentioning some parts of the Western region. I mean, go to the Amenfis, all down to the Valledra, and across. I mean, you see clearly that this is a challenge that we need to grapple with and maybe face head on and see how we can resolve. Our water bodies have been so polluted.
Right, Honorable, so these challenges, we are very much aware, the pollution of our water bodies, we don't need anyone to tell us about that. And we seem to be recycling, approaches in dealing with illegal mining. Now, what are you going to do to ensure a sustainable fight against Galamsey?
Well, the first thing that I see is a commitment to this fight. I mean, that's the major thing that I see missing, commitment to this fight. And so, yes, we've seen some fights against this menace in the past, and rather unsuccessfully. And this time around, I'm not even saying that the fight is going to be easy. I know it's going to be very, very tough. But the key thing, as I mentioned, is commitment. And I'm very committed to, fighting this menace. Of course, as RCC, that's the Regional Coordinating Council, we are always going to play a complementary role to, what the ministry itself is going to do. And so I've had a chat with the sector minister. We know exactly what we are going to do. And in fact, over the last week, we arrested some Chinese on the Pra River. And then last weekend, Saturday, we arrested some more in the Valledra area. So, yes, someone will say that this is not new. Yes, indeed, it's not new. So the question is, how do we sustain it? And that is where commitment comes in. Commitment to see through this project of getting our water bodies, our forest reserves, free from, this. And to tell you the truth, I'm very committed to it. And the approaches, apart from getting them off the land, I think that we must also tackle the issue of regulation. It's very, very important. And this is where the Minerals Commission comes in. My sister, today, if you go to the field and you see the devastation, you cannot differentiate from that small mining company that is doing legal mining or that has a license from the other that doesn't have a license. Okay? So it's a confusing situation. I mean, you go there and it's like, this one has a license and is doing the same thing as the other one that doesn't have a license. So there must be a clear standard, on how small-scale mining has to be approached in this country. And I think that at the moment, it doesn't exist. And so we begin to draw the line so that we know which ones are doing the right things and which ones are not. As we speak now, it's almost like, all of them are both together doing, things anyhow. And so, yes, we'll do our bit to get these people arrested. But even for those who have the licenses, how do they mine? How are they expected to mine? Is it a matter of just giving a paper to, somebody to indicate that they have a license, or that they are shown clearly, how to mine? And so these are matters that I believe that the ministry will begin to look at, and so that we are able to, come to a point where we have a standard way of, doing small-scale mining, so that we can separate those who don't do the right thing from those who are doing illegal mining. As we have it, you cannot separate the two. And so we just have to go head on, get the people who are destroying our water bodies off, and then later we see who has a license and who doesn't have.
(8:35) Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson. So this is a critical period. We've had a few speeches, we've had a few statements of assurance, we've had a few warnings. I think what we want is action of a very clear form. We want arrests, we want license revocations, we want clarity in the law, some of the laws that have to be repealed. Mining and forest reserves, the LI has to go. A number of places will need military and soldier reinforcements to chase out people. Somebody sent a text from Western North and says there are men holding guns who don't even speak English who are patrolling some of these forest areas.
Bernard, the man said though that when they go into the forest, sometimes they are not able to tell the difference between who is doing legal. When they go to the sites, they are not able to tell the difference between who is doing legal mining and then who is doing illegal mining. So the whole thing has become very complicated. And I believe that from all the literature we've heard and advocacy that has been advanced so far, that is one of the reasons why civil society and indeed the media has called on the state to declare a state of emergency, because the thing has become very convoluted and complex. We need to tidy things up. We've sat down, things have been muddied, people are mining in forest reserves. Yes, we are pushing for the LI to be amended and all of that. And those who are mining to be revoked, and then revoked, yes. And then those who are mining along water bodies to dealt with. But to the extent that we are not able to tell the difference between who is doing illegal small scale mining and legal mining properly, so to speak, then it means that it is as murky as it gets, and we need to really declare a state of emergency
in the areas that mining is going on.
Absolutely.
The minister, for example, said there are 11 out of 14 districts where this problem is. So which means that we know the places that these things are happening.
And then also the scale of what is happening is about 7,500 football pitches
have been destroyed.
All that is gone.
I tell you.
Illegal miners.
It's incredible.
It means that they are not regenerating what they are doing. They are not mining very responsibly.
At all.
The water bodies are going. Biodiversity is suffering. And at the end of the day, it will come back to bite all of us. So, I mean, after seeing all that he has seen, I want to know the kind of advice the minister will give to the president, because the scale and proportion of what we are seeing, even from the images, I'm sure they couldn't have worked to cover like a tenth of all that they had to see. So I'm expecting the minister to make a very firm recommendation to the president that following what we have seen and the complexities of the ground, we think that, and in my view, from what I am seeing and what he's saying, I think this is the time for us to declare a state of emergency, so that then we can properly get into the thing and regenerate the environment and ensure that those who are doing proper small-scale mining or legal mining are allowed to do so according to the regulations, and then we weed out those who are not conforming.
8:38. Here are some more comments. Good morning, Bernard and team. Here in China, you cannot touch the land in your own compound. The house may be yours, but the land isn't. Even though government won't ask you to move your house, we are not serious enough about fighting the issue. This is Kweku Yeboah from China. Getting a lot of comments from people who live abroad. Bernard, from the footage I saw on CNR yesterday, the attack was not only on the journalist, but the police officers. I was angered by what I saw when I saw a civilian holding the shirt of a police officer. This is Foresight in Afienya. A few more comments. Bernard, let's face facts and not beat about the bush when it comes to Galamsey. The only solution is what Godfred spoke about yesterday. The might of our military must be brought to bear simultaneously in all affected regions and forests. Anything other than that will not work. Trust me, it is now or never, because the moment brown envelopes start changing hands along the value chain, we will be back to business as usual. Kwesi Akwa from Sakumono. We'll read a few more of your comments shortly. Don't forget, the month of March is the Heritage Month. We have a number of things happening. From the 2nd to the 9th, we're traveling around the country on our Heritage Caravan. And then on the 28th and the 29th and the 30th, back to your village food festival happening live at the AMA forecourt. If you want to be a vendor, call 055-8979-973 or 0205-973-973. Two big events, of course, throughout the month of March, will bring you very important aspects of our history. Indeed, history was the subject of the point of view yesterday when I hosted Kweku Dako Ankara on 59 years of Nkrumah's overthrow. Indeed, Nkrumah was overthrown 24th February 1966. That's exactly 59 years ago to yesterday. And the big discussion was around what we learned from the overthrow of Nkrumah. Now, while that's going on, a group has asked for the name of our main international airport to be changed from Kotoka International Airport to any other name, because they believe that for somebody who subverted the constitution and overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, naming our most important airport after that person was not right. Now, Susu's been talking about the discussion on social media. So, first and foremost, if you can find the Democracy Hub press release for me, because they and CPP jointly initiated an action to compel the state to change the name of our main airport in Accra from Kotoka International Airport, because Lieutenant Kotoka and Efrifa were the two men behind the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah in 1966. Now, they believe that's not a way to go if you want to really, really honor the memory of Nkrumah.
Yeah.
So if you have that statement.
Yes, sir.
You want to read it?
Sure, I got it here. It says Democracy Hub joins the CPP to file lawsuit to remove Kotoka's name from Accra International Airport. It's dated Monday, 24th February 2025.
All right.
On this historic day, Democracy Hub, in collaboration with the Convention People's Party, CPP, has filed a lawsuit at the Supreme Court of Ghana seeking the removal of Kotoka's name from Accra International Airport. This legal action is part of a broader effort to correct a historical injustice, challenge the glorification of unconstitutional rule, and reaffirm Ghana's commitment to democratic governance. The 1992 Constitution of Ghana firmly rejects coup d'etat, making it a duty of every citizen to defend democracy against military interventions. However, for 59 years, Ghana has lived with the contradiction of denouncing coup d'etat while continuing to honor one of the architects of the first military overthrow of an elected government. The continued veneration of Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka, the man whose actions helped overthrow Ghana's 1960 constitution and derail the country's democratic progress, is an unacceptable contradiction. The naming of the Kotoka International Airport, enshrined under the General Kotoka Trust Decree 1969 NLCD 339, is a state-sanctioned endorsement of an illegal regime change. It is time for Ghana to make a clear statement that it stands against unconstitutional rule, not just in rhetoric but in practice. Democracy Hub also expresses its profound gratitude to the team of lawyers at Merton and Everett LLP for their industry commitment and painstaking work in making this case possible. This lawsuit is the result of rigorous and painstaking legal and archival research. Democracy Hub calls on all Ghanaians, civil society organizations, youth activists, and defenders of democracy to support this legal challenge. This is more than a court case. It is a national reckoning with our past and a reaffirmation of our commitment to the rule of law. The fight for democracy is the fight for Ghana's future. Signed, Democracy Hub.
Now, there's a funny little statement the CPP have sent, which seems to sort of throw a spanner in the works. What are they saying?
Disclaimer: Convention People's Party not privy to Democracy Hub writ against Attorney General filed at the Honorable Supreme Court on 24th February 2025.
Wow.
So this one says the attention of the Convention People's Party has been drawn to a writ filed in the Honorable Supreme Court today, 24th February 2025, between Democracy Hub as second plaintiff and the Honorable Attorney General as defendant. The said writ lists without its permission the Convention People's Party as the first plaintiff. The Convention People's Party would like to inform Ghanaians that it has not given any legal entity its permission to use its name as a party in the self-same writ. Neither has it instructed any personality or corporate entity to issue the said writ. The party has taken steps to remove its name from the action and entreats all and sundry to disregard any attempts to associate the Convention People's Party with the said suit. Thank you. Yours, comradely, Comrade Kwame Nkrumah Butsu, Esquire, General Secretary, Convention People's Party.
Fred, can you call the CPP General Secretary for an interview? Because this is quite interesting. Yesterday, the story came that this was a joint action between CPP and Democracy Hub. Now, we're seeing a statement from the CPP dissociating itself from this action. I thought that's some way. I'm not sure if we have to get clarity on this.
Maybe some rogue elements of the party went to say their part, I guess.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened. Because
Say
it would be strange. I said some rogue elements of the party must have said, "Oh, we are with you," because it seems strange that Democracy Hub would just put the CPP's name on it for no reason, like for just by the way. It just seems very, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get clarity from both Democracy Hub and CPP. But I think there's a big discussion, and there are two schools of thought here. Some people think that we cannot live yesterday through today's eyes, and that what happened yesterday was possibly because of, at the time, that was what was to have happened.
Yeah.
And so trying to judge everything that happened in history from today's standards is not the way to go. Other people also believe that, like the UG did with Gandhi's statue, when you have new information, and when you come to a certain day of reckoning, you take actions to show your new reality. So the Legon people basically said they couldn't have Mahatma Gandhi's statue at the UG. And the system had to comply because they believed that some of the things he said did not represent what they believe in. The values did not align. All right. So I don't know where you guys are on this. Maybe let's listen to Kweku Dakwankra's view. He was sort of basically saying he thinks that they are making a constitutional argument and therefore they have a case. He's a historian I interviewed yesterday on the point of view.
I think it's something that should be pursued, naming of monuments is about things people have done. We give honor, we give respect, we show that the nation is grateful. So when people are writing history and then someone is honored, usually the term used is that a grateful nation honored him with order of Volta, with order of Saint so and so, with the OBE. A grateful nation does that because the nation is grateful for what you.
All right, so that was I'll come back to this, but let me speak to the convener of the Democracy Hub, Oliver Bakavomawa, on this action in relation to the background and also what is emerging that some people in CPP are saying that they were not privy to action. Oliver, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bernard. Hope you're doing well.
Great. So yesterday we saw this release, which coincided with, of course, 59 years of Nkrumah's overthrow. So we saw the correlation there. For how long has the Hub been contemplating this action? Give us some background to the action.
So the action and the research behind it has been going on for at least a year. We've been putting together the record. We've gone through the archives. We're going to be able to establish how the 1960 Constitution came into being, the very events of the 21st February 1966. So if you look at the suit itself, there's a long list of historical material that is referenced in order to make sure that we are getting this correct. So it's gone on for at least a year.
Wonderful. So the main argument is that what? Just put the argument in context for us.
Yes. So in 1993, the Supreme Court held that public resources and the public institution cannot be used in the glorification, celebration of any act that overthrows a constitutional government. This is what is called the 31st December case. Now, this case builds up on the jurisprudence of the courts in that to be able to determine whether in respect of the Kotoka International Import as well as a trust which was created under the General Kotoka Trust Decree were done in connection with the overthrow of the 1960 Constitution? And if that's the case, is this supported by the 1992 Constitution? That's the thrust of the argument that is being made here.
Wonderful. Now, there was a statement I saw from a CPP on a CPP letterhead claiming that they were not consulted in being first, I don't know what the word is, plaintiff in the matter. Did you engage CPP in this endeavor, and how sure are you that they are with you in this matter?
So it was also forwarded to me this morning. It's in fact surprising that we had the consent of the CPP. In fact, prior to this release, the current chair of the interim committee of the CPP, CPP's own internal structures have not been functional for a while, had a conversation with me and mentioned that, since the suit was filed, other elements within the party have been raising objections, as well as were the MPP elements within the party. To be honest, we are a bit also surprised as to what is going on the CPP end. But as far as we are concerned, we have had reach out from the former flag bearer of the CPP and others who said they are prepared to even substitute the CPP in the matter if it's going to cause unnecessary confusion and delay. We don't really want to get into internal divisions within the CPP on this matter in fact.
Okay, so I can understand why you chose the legal route. Some people would have felt that you could have just appealed to the president to, by executive order, change the name. Some people also thought maybe Parliament could have been the route. Why the judiciary as the angle?
So the first thing is that, unlike some of the namings that the former president did, this case cannot be, it can't be the same thing, because for this airport, it was because of a decree that was passed. So it's an act that allows the name to be so. So the president cannot, by executive instrument, do anything about it. It has to be through the instrument of Parliament for the executive to repeal the law. Now, we can work in chew gum. The presidency can determine that it is interested in the matter, and for which reason is going to instruct the Attorney General to introduce a bill which removes the name if they were so inclined. But for us, it is the bigger question, particularly because we have become the most stable democracy within our sub-region, and where the sub-region is tearing apart over coup d'etat and other things, to reaffirm the Ghanaian commitment and the 1992 Constitution's commitment to a democracy that evolves and changes itself through the mechanism of the democracy itself. That's what we are giving the court the opportunity to be able to pronounce loudly. And we think that development is also useful, and that both things can happen at the same time.
Finally, the main argument I've heard against this is that it's not necessarily prudent to judge historical events with today's eyes, because at the time that Nkrumah was overthrown, he was a despot. There was a one-party state, and he had lost favor. And indeed, Kotoka was hailed as a liberator at the time of the coup. So that even though hindsight has taught us that Nkrumah was probably right in a lot of the things he did, many people alive at the time believed that Kotoka saved them from something pretty bad. And number two, the naming of the airport after Kotoka is part of our history. So history is conflictual, history is difficult. So we have to accept it and move on. And that this is a bit of revisionism. How do you reply?
On the first question, one of the things that we are very particular in this suit is not to open the Pandora's box into judgment on Nkrumah's record, or even think that it is prudent for us to engage in the conversation as to which constitutional democracy is deserving of a coup d'etat. It is a standard by which even the Fourth Republic does not want to be judged, we think. The bigger question for us is narrow, as to whether or not, based on the court's own reasoning as to what the 1992 Constitution supports, the naming of the airport is done to glorify Kotoka's role in the overthrow of the 1960 Constitution. I do not accept the view that there was no way for Nkrumah to have been removed through the mechanism of the democracy. In fact, we go into a great deal to be able to show that everything that happened was, in fact, constitutional, and that there was mechanism constitutionally, including, for instance, mobilizing a political project and replacing Parliament then. If we are to judge that by the same standards today, some people could say, well, there's no way practically to be able to remove the two-party states, and NDC and MPP are a problem, and that no credible third-party project can be done unless through a coup d'etat. We don't want to get there. Every democracy has its challenges, but the commitment we have is to be able to improve the democracy through the mechanism of that democracy itself. This is what this suit is about. Now, the question of revisionism. Listen, history is made up of both naming and renaming. So the process of determining, in the same way that Mumbai became Bombay and the names go back and forth, even the project of removing the name is also part of history. For us, it's not about revising the, a bitter record. In fact, we can't do that. All we are saying is that what is this country entitled to project as its best element? If the 1992 Constitution is what we use as an indicator of what we should project, then it tells us clearly, at least the 31st December case emphasized, that of all the things we can choose, coup is not one of the ones that the Republic should be valorizing, at least a coup against a constitutional democracy. So that's what we want to be able to hold the democracy to its own commitment around that issue. On the bigger question, I think some people have talked about, okay, this opens a bigger box. Does it mean that all coup makers ought to be removed and things like that? No. In fact, if the Kotoka airport was named after Kotoka, for any other thing but his role in the overthrow of the 1960 Constitution, we don't think that there will be a case to be made under the 1992 Constitution. There's, of course, a moral argument to be made, but it's not a legal one there. So for us here, it doesn't make any difference whether Kotoka is named after a street in Malata or at the airport. No. The bigger question is this to valorize a coup d'etat? And if it's the case, the Supreme Court says you cannot do that. It can be named after him because his name is the nicest one we have ever had. That, there's no legal remedy there,
This is a really interesting case. Do you have an idea of the timelines? When is there a hearing date?
So we've just filed this matter. The Attorney General must be served, and then they have 14 days from service to respond. We are also quite keen and interested in how the Attorney General intends to play this, because it gives an indication into this government's thinking. So many times for persons like myself who identify as Nkrumahs, so many times the NDC has talked about, they are of Nkrumah's traditions and things like that. We are really interested to see how they also play it in the courts. But yes, once the hearing is fixed, I think that this is a matter that we should all be engaged in the conversation at least, because it sets a benchmark for how tomorrow would be judged.
Oliver, thank you so much for talking to us.
I appreciate it.
Oliver Bakabama is a convener of the Democracy Hub, and very interesting case. And guys, the reference to the 31st December case for me is interesting, because I think the time MPP argued that this was MPP against the Attorney General, that 31st December cannot be celebrated because we cannot use state funds to celebrate 31st December as a public holiday, because that would be using state funds to celebrate a coup, and that was not right under our new constitution. And this is where they are getting their inspiration from. And I feel that's a really strong legal argument, which will take a lot of... You need somebody to argue forcefully to say this is not correct. Although I know that celebrating a holiday and having a name is not the same thing in terms of resource allocation, right? Celebrating a holiday may mean you go and do a parade, and therefore you have to use money. But I think it's in that spirit, there's a big conversation.
No, I think it makes perfect sense, honestly, if we say we are not celebrating coups, because if you ask someone, why are we celebrating Kotoka? What are Kotoka's achievements? Almost everyone's going to say he overthrew Nkrumah. Maybe my history is not up to scratch, what achievements does Kotoka have apart from he overthrew Nkrumah and he was killed in a counter coup?
Yes.
So the people he did it with felt like, oh, this guy, he died young, so let's celebrate him, which is fine. I mean,
also because at the time there was a certain view that, that Atta in Yeboah coup, some people believe that some of his allies in the overthrow of Nkrumah knew something about it. Do you understand? So that 1969 thing they did was sort of to say, we're actually sad that he died. Did you get my context? So it's like, no, the two of you did a coup, you brought Ankara to come and lead the thing, and now that thing is moving. There's some so-called counter coup that has killed one of the two. Do you understand? So it's like they used him and dumped him. So to sort of assuage the people from his part who said, you guys have used our guy to do this coup against Nkrumah, you've dumped him. You know what I'm saying? So that history. In fact, a friend of mine sent me a very interesting excerpt of the Legon Observer, and I need to say that Legon Observer at the time was also anti-Nkrumah. We need to be clear on this. So in the 67 edition, there's actually a particular version where they I can actually read an excerpt to you. Okay. They sort of speak very highly of Kotoka. So that the title of that editorial, so this is Legon Observer, 22nd April 1967. Okay. And he was on the front page. The crisis, time for clear thinking. All right. And then in some point, it must be remembered that Kotoka was a national figure, a hero of the nation, not just of a section of it. The reaction to his death is sufficient evidence of this. No greater respect can be paid to his memory than to refrain from anything he would disapprove. And he would have hated nothing more than actions and words that would even unintentionally lead to disunity in the country in this moment of crisis. All right. Now, let me read the first two paragraphs. The murder of Lieutenant General E.K. Kotoka is a tragedy of incalculable proportions for the most beloved and respected member of the NLC and the real architect of Ghana's renaissance. Look at the words they are using. Oh. To be removed so suddenly from our nation's life by a mere lieutenant with what happens to be one of 200 soldiers when the cleaning of the country is only just underway. It is a tragedy we cannot find appropriate words to describe. And this is the editorial, by the way. So as I said, this newspaper was very anti-Nkrumah in its initial stages. The tragedy throws the country into a profound crisis. Every patriotic citizen of Ghana is bound to reflect on the significance of the events of April 17, 1967. Is this the end of the efforts of Ghana to build a country worthy of those numerous Ghanaians who hate the absence of integrity in our national life, those who believe that the sole end of government is the well-being of the governed, and those who are determined to see to it that the evils which were enthroned in the citadels of power in the 50 years of CPP rule shall never regain their ascendancy in this country? Is this evidence of a basic absence of a moral conscience in this nation? Or is it indication of the parlous state of our armed forces? Whatever the answers to these questions, the country has been shocked into a fundamental reappraisal of itself. We must reassess our basic objectives, remold our tools, and decide with what determination we want to move forward. The murder of Kotoka must rouse us into a greater awareness of those values in the pursuit of which he made the supreme sacrifice. Nor should we forget the emotions and suspicions that have been roused by this brutal murder. Many a man and woman have been thrown out of their normal frame of mind by the sheer enormity of the crime. Emotions of the most dangerous kind are swelling up, and there's a danger of a most destructive backlash. Free rein is being given to the most vicious kind of suspicions. The wagging tongues are at work, and they are lashing out at the most unlikely victims. It would be a great mistake to underestimate the combined effect of all of this. Yet it is precisely in a situation like this that calm is needed the most. The nation needs to bring all its reserves of moral and intellectual resources to bear on the present situation. Above all, it must remember that Kotoka was a national figure, a hero of the nation, not just a section of it. The reaction to his death is sufficient evidence of this. No greater respect can be paid to his memory than to refrain from anything he would disapprove and would have hated, nothing more than actions and words that would even unintentionally lead to disunity in the country in this moment of crisis. Let me end. Mere words, however, will not suffice. Decisive action is needed to assure the public. The public must be satisfied that a thorough inquiry is being conducted into the events of April 17 and that no attempt whatsoever is being made to cover up any embarrassing facts. Such an inquiry must aim at answering fundamental questions, such as we pose elsewhere in this special edition. After the inquiry must come punishment, swift, unremitting, and certain. There must not be the slightest delay. Time is of the very essence of this exercise. The public or a section of it must not be provoked into taking the law into his own hands. Also, there must be no talk of reconciliation at this juncture. To talk of reconciling the burgled to the burglar has never made sense and cannot make sense now. What is needed is just punishment. Without this, the can be only injustice and no reconciliation. So this is the Legon Observer's
at the time
view. I mean, I'm quite shocked to see some of the way they describe the Nkrumah regime.
Yeah.
And talk about a time of national renaissance and how they will not make CPP come back to power, that they've been under 15 years of tyranny. And to think that we are alive almost 60 years later, we see the people who did the coup as nation wreckers, and that Nkrumah was on the right path. But they lived through some of his dictatorial tendencies, and they believe that. Yeah. And of course, I'm not sure if the Legon Observer's view is the view of the whole country.
So I have a document I've pulled up here. It's a CIA document.
Oh, Lord.
It's a CIA document published 11th March 1966. It's called The New Regime in Ghana. And then it describes, there's a part that calls the current situation in Ghana. This was just after the overthrow. I could go through some.
Yes, why not?
It says 2 weeks after the coup, there is no question that the forces which carried it out are firmly in control throughout the country. All regular army units and even the special presidential guard evidently rallied to the elements which spearheaded the operation within a few hours of its initiation. The well-organized network of police disarmed and purged by Nkrumah 2 years ago following an attempt on his life by a policeman has been rearmed, giving the new regime additional muscle. The small Air Force and Navy have also endorsed the change. It is similarly clear that Ghana's present rulers enjoy the enthusiastic support of the vast majority of the populace. The U.S. Embassy in Accra has reported that the publicized anti-Nkrumah demonstrations there have, for the most part, has been genuinely spontaneous. No curfew has been imposed and none has been needed at any time since the coup, and military personnel were removed early from the streets and most non-military installations. Moreover, not one of the many prominent Ghanaians outside the country at the time of the coup has declared for Nkrumah.
Everybody ran.
Most top officials who were traveling with Nkrumah, even old ones who were personally close to him, have returned to Ghana and pledged support to the new government. 5. This reaction among Ghanaians bears out recurrent indications in recent years that virtually all segments of the country's society had become alienated from Nkrumah, the hero of independence, 9 years ago. The erosion of his once massive popularity stemmed mainly from his arbitrary rule, his pro-communist proclivities, and especially the economic squeeze and dislocation felt at all levels beginning around 1961. This is just for the intellectual.
No, this is very important because we all know the role the CIA played in Silver.
Exactly, that's also.
But that does not also mean that everybody in Ghana was happy with Nkrumah's rule.
True.
I think that for me, a couple of things here. The people, a lot of people who were alive at the time are not alive here today.
Yeah.
So to capture that moment may not necessarily, we won't have the full facts.
Yeah.
But I think we who live today also have a right to decide what to do now. Just like they decided to do what they wanted to do. Because we have hindsight, they didn't have foresight. At least we, you know what I'm saying? So we have an advantage of knowing what they did and what it has resulted in. They don't know what has happened after 60 years.
True.
Okay? So we are in a stronger position to say, what you did was wrong and we are not going to perpetuate it.
True.
Because the sentiment at the time may be based on the facts available.
Yeah.
60 years have proved that Nkrumah was our best. And even though within the 3 years since 62 to 65-ish, he was unpopular for reasons we all know, the 15-year rule of Nkrumah set us on the right foundation. Okay, he made some mistakes that have also helped our leaders in terms of knowing how to play the international game. So for me, the fact that newspapers and writings of the time supported the coup does not make it right. That's number one. Number two, the bigger question is, going forward, what can we do to avoid some of the challenges of the time? See how they wrote about Nkrumah as if it was the worst thing that ever happened. That kind of divisive politics where everything about Nkrumah is bad or everything about Nkrumah is good is what has led us here. Nkrumah was no saint, but not everything he did was bad. But if you read even that excerpt I read, they are basically saying we don't want that group that led us for 50 years to ever come to power again, and that Ghanaians are under a season of renaissance. I mean, really?
But you know, it's funny.
Renaissance.
It's funny because I see people talking like this about the previous government.
That's the point. We need to be careful.
Just right now.
We need to be careful.
I guess it's just part of public. Like sometimes when you go through something and you feel like, wow, I've really suffered.
Yeah, but that's you see, but Susu, which is why somebody wiser than I said, those who refuse to learn from history are bound to repeat it. Yeah. I am saying we need caution. NDC is in power today. They got a very strong mandate. They need to be very careful how they govern so that the situation they came to save us from does not become worse.
Yeah.
Okay? And those who support the NDC, who brought the NDC to power, should not think that the best way to support the government is to say everything they do is correct. If they do wrong, point it out. If they are dithering on Galamsey, call them out. If they are blowing hot and cold on corruption, let them know. Our loyalty must be to the state and not to a party. The problem we've had is that everybody believes that once they feel strongly about something, means that thing they feel strongly about is the only thing. You get my point? I feel like this is a very good lesson for us. You may change the name for all you want. A lot of things that we celebrate today, our children may come and change it. A lot of things we celebrate today, our children may come and say we've not done a good job. So I think it's more a time of reflection. Whether the court case assists or not is not as important as what we learned from the past. And I think the way we do our politics today, we clearly don't learn anything. We clearly don't learn anything from the past. We are repeating the same mistakes. We are still fighting each other. We are not putting Ghana at the center of anything we do. We are being very parochial in our views, being very corrupt as well, very, very dishonest. And that's not a good thing. Now we are not happy with that generation. We said, how did you kill this Nkrumah guy? This great guy. You know, but the nature of the politics, the bombings and all the things that happen around him probably forced him to become the despot. So we need to be very careful how we govern, and we must speak truth to power. I think the best chance we have as a nation is to prioritize two things. Prioritize the country over your personal interest and prioritize the future over the present. That means don't eat everything today. Think about the next generation. Lay a good foundation for them. Don't leave them in debt and crisis. Sacrifice today so your children have a better future. All right? So like Susu and myself, all of us here, we went to, arguably, we had a better chance than our parents because most of our parents were the first or second generation to be educated in their family. All right? So they had to go through a lot to get education. They've given us high quality education. So our parents have done better for us. But you can say the country itself may not have done better for us because on an individual level, our parents have done a great job. All right? But collectively, we have more students than accommodation offers. We have more people graduating than jobs are available. So this is the lesson. Doing the best thing for your family is not enough to save a nation. All right? Susu's father did better for him than his father did for him. Same with my father. Same with Godfred's father. So, and I'm sure your father as well. So our parents did a great job for us individually. But the lesson of nation building is that it's not enough to do it good for your family. It's not enough to do it good. Because even though my father gave me a better education than he got, when I went to Legon, I was in a worse state than he went to. Because when he was in the Kwafo Hall, he was only 2 in a room. I was 10. When he did sociology, they were like 30 in a class. We were like 300. All right? When he finished job, there was a work. When he finished university, there was a job waiting for him. We had to struggle to work. So even though he did better for me, no. So if you want to help a country, giving everything to your family members doesn't solve the problem. If you don't work, so if you don't have the mindset of what is happening to a generation, what is the collective, we can never proceed. And I'm sure even our parents, your dad listening, may agree with me.
Yeah. Quickly on this one, we've run out of time. I'm looking forward to how this case goes. I'm happy that it is premised on a matter of law. It's not emotional. Because a lot of the conversations around this are emotional. Okay, so I'm looking forward to how it goes. I'm a supporter of removing Kotoka's name. Let me put it out there clearly. Yes. There are ways that we can still read about Kotoka and learn about Kotoka without naming a monument foremost, because I do believe in that Supreme Court ruling. And here's the thing for me. Kotoka did the coup personally, and this is me being emotional. Although I'm fully when Kotoka did the coup, he was a lieutenant colonel. The following day he was a major general.
Just the next day.
By the time he was assassinated, he was a lieutenant general.
Head of the armed forces.
Think about it. How
within a year.
So if you're, how do you say, your motivations are pure, you do something today as this Lieutenant Colonel, the following day you promote yourself.
I mean, he deserves it. He saved the country. So he deserves it.
So again, if perhaps we decide to go into it, we'll break down what did he do, all his achievements. That's our conversation for today. But I'm simply saying that simply on the basis of the ruling that we had, the 31st December movement, 31st December ruling, I am a keen supporter of removing Kotoka's name from the airport. I'm not a supporter of naming it after Kwame Nkrumah. Those are two different issues.
So you believe that the case has legs to stand on, and you want the case to succeed?
I think the case has legs to stand on, and I hope it succeeds.
Same for you?
I think the logic checks out of the case, because if we say 31st December is celebrating a coup, and we have to look at Kotoka's achievements, because he died within a year of the coup, right? It was February 66, then April 67, he was dead.
Yeah.
What did he do in that 1 year?
They say he was part of National Renaissance. According to the story I just read.
It's not even just to be this, but what can you actually do in 1 year? You get what I'm saying? If you think about all the people we talk about in this country as transformative leaders and stuff, which 1 year can we say that he did from 67 to 66 that puts him in the ranks of national heroes and that kind of stuff?
Did Kweku give you a clue as to why Arthur and Co wanted to take over?
You know, there's a controversy around that.
For just 1 year.
You see, some people believe that counter coup was instigated by elements within the NLC itself. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around it, which is why his naming in 69 was to appease. In fact, the article I read, people felt like they had used Kotoka to remove Nkrumah, and then they got rid of him through this so-called counter coup. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, look, guys, this is very controversial. So you think you support the idea?
I mean, the principle is there. If we are going to say we can't celebrate certain things, because for me, unless someone can bring very good evidence that Kotoka has other achievements apart from the coup, then it can stay. That's all.
Because you know, if you stretch your point, because somebody will bring Rawlings in, which is why you're asking our achievement. Because Rawlings overthrew a legitimate government.
But Rawlings was also democratically elected.
Yeah, but that has not vitiated the fact that he removed Liman, who was genuinely voted for.
I don't disagree, and that's why December 31st they say we can't celebrate it, so we have to celebrate other things. That's why we have Constitution Day on.
No,
not quite.
But we have Rawlings Park
and parks that are named.
So in fact, Rawlings actually didn't want to. In fact, when Rawlings started UBS, he didn't even want his name to be named after him.
If I remember correctly, he didn't even want things named after him. It's when he died that they started naming things after him. But things were named after him more because of like.
So you believe that the case has legal legs to stand on?
Yeah, once we've decided that this is the precedent, as far as I understand that we don't celebrate coups. This is what the courts have said. It's only sensible.
No, it says we don't use state resources to celebrate coups.
But I guess state resources are being used to name the thing. Unless the name is not important. But
you get what I'm saying, that no, it's been named. I'm thinking of the case. I'm thinking now like just devil's advocate. If I'm a lawyer for the other side, I'll say, okay, in the 31st December case, a holiday is something substantive that you spend resources on.
I agree.
But a name of a place does not incur any.
But you see, the holiday is about the idea of glorification and celebrating something. So if you name something after someone, you're not just naming it. It's to say that this person is important. They've done something. Because I'll give you an example. I know Canada. If you look at the airports in Canada, who they are named after, prominent politicians in the area.
Yeah.
So Moncton, near where I went to school.
Yeah.
Romeo LeBlanc, he's Governor General from the area.
Yeah.
Lester B. Pearson, Prime Minister of Toronto Airport.
Okay.
Stansfield International Airport in Halifax. He was Premier of Nova Scotia and leader of the opposition for years. You can go on and on. Pierre Trudeau International Airport in Montreal, former Prime Minister. So you can see that people don't name things after people for fun. It's to show some respect.
Did we not remove Gandhi statue?
We did.
But Gandhi is not from Ghana.
You know what I'm saying? If we removed Gandhi statue.
Yeah, but but in Ghana, but it's different because Gandhi is Indian. And there was a strong intellectual view that he should go. But Kotoka, there are people in Ghana who believe that his name should stay.
Oh, that's fine. But I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying, if you're sitting here, if we took out Gandhi with no qualms, it is Kotoka you are worried about.
In the meantime, are lacing their boots to have this place renamed after the Ghana chief because they said the airport is sitting.
So is it Niamugi or which of them?
No, they say Ni Ajay Onano the fifth. is the La Mancha who rakes his tool to give most of the last 2 lands to the state for national development.
Quick.
So he deserves the
They should find join that.
But you see, all I'm saying is that
Charlie, thank you guys.
The president is there. So if you say we are not celebrating coups,
you should go.
Bring the achievements of Kutoka, then we can decide whether it's worth it.
I like the case.
I think that's
I'm with you on this. I'm absolutely with you on this. We'll take a short break.
It's the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Enhance your business operations with the HP LaserJet Pro MFP 4103DW printer. You can print, copy, and scan up to 40 pages per minute with high-quality mobile scans or customizable shortcuts in the HP Smart app that delivers effortless use from wherever you work so you can focus on growing your business. Take advantage of its professional quality laser and Wi-Fi direct printing, which are both designed to simplify your day. With the HP LaserJet Pro MFP 4103DW printer, experience fast and easy setup and improved overall printing efficiency with a 80,000 page duty cycle, built to keep you and your business secure and moving forward with embedded security that is pre-configured out of the box to detect and stop attacks. The HP LaserJet Pro MFP 410DW printer is available at all Compute Ghana stores. Call 0302-752-020 or visit any nearest Compute Ghana store to you for more information.
In the Chest of a Woman, a stage play written by Efo Kojo Maugbe is showing again by popular request. It's sensational. It's hilarious.
Enough! You slept with me. I never slept with you. Had me. I never untied me. You're lying to the theater, John. Hey! Takura Fonen Trodia.
Join Clemento Suarez, General Intatia, Akofa Ijani, Bill Lasamoa, Edina Matachi, and more on 28 February, 1st and 2nd March 2025. 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day at the National Theatre. Tickets are going for 100 Ghana cedis for students, 200 Ghana cedis for regular, and 300 Ghana cedis for VIP. To purchase tickets, dial *713*33*10#. Supported by AE Cinemax, Enterprise Insurance, UNESCO, McPhillips Foods, and Verna Water. In the Chest of a Woman returns bigger, bolder, and better. Powered by Africa Arts Network.
Are you ready for the road trip of a lifetime? All is set to explore 14 amazing regions of Ghana on the Heritage Caravan 2025. Dive deep into the rich Ghanaian culture through the food, the music, the history, and the captivating traditions. From the 2nd to the 9th of March 2025, you will experience the road trip of a lifetime. Build connections, network, and share unforgettable memories with fellow adventurers.
An opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful, and the people, the connection, incredible.
The Heritage Caravan will smoothly drive through the Greater Accra region, Eastern, Volta, Oti, Northeast, Upper East, Northern, Savannah, Bono East, Ahafo, Ashanti, Western North, Western, and Central regions.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui Dam was very educational.
Throughout the 8 days on the road, groove to authentic live band music on the wheels with the melodic In Chim Chim Band. The Heritage Caravan 2025 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay updated. Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates and join the conversation with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Holland Insurance, Omni Basic Bank, Goyle PLC, GB Foods, Standard Water, Apollonia City, and Beaver Beverages. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi 97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi 973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi 973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
As you dey cry for my head, I dey hope say no be belle when you carry. Mommy, see, I dey love you for a long, long time, and I never go to give up on the love. I go buy designer, yeah. For you, my miss my like a baby. Anything that you want, my baby. You know, go suffer for this life again, yeah. Ferrari for my lover, welcome. Gucci shoe for my lover, company for my lover, yeah. Don't let me for my lover, Egusi for my lover, and Walkman for my lover.
25 minutes past the hour of 9. We're still on Citi Breakfast Show. ANC Developments is redefining the urban experience at East Legon with the launch of ANC Corner, Accra Design Center, which is a world-class home retail and restaurant hub designed to meet the evolving lifestyle needs of residents and businesses. As I say, ANC is at the heart of East Legon, which is the ish. East Legon is the new center of Accra. This is Siashi, and then we have the Flower Pot, and then there's the Jiringano side, then there's what do you call it? East Airport. That whole enclave. ANC is bringing different things together. So I have in studio Edmond Asama, who's the ANC Development MD, here with two of his key anchor tenants to tell us about life at ANC Corner. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning.
Edmond, you look very happy today.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Yes, not bad.
Wonderful. So I know of ANC Shopping Mall. What is ANC Corner?
ANC Corner is basically a design center. And when we say design center, it's everything that focuses on building supplies, finishes, and furnishes.
Okay.
And the whole idea came about where, unfortunately, when you want to buy anything regarding building supplies, finishes, and furnishes, you track all the way to Spintex.
Yes.
But you go to about 10 to 12 different stores.
True.
So we said, let's do the market study. We're sitting in the largest residential community in Ghana.
Yeah.
And instead of going across the road, we said, why not build a shopping center that facilitates all of these elements in one location?
Okay.
So people can find their building supplies, they can find their finishes, they can find their furnishes.
Okay.
And that way we stop the community from trekking all the way to Spintex and going to 10 different stores.
So when you say building supplies, finishes, and furnishes, you're basically talking from cement to the end of the project.
Cement, paint, iron rods,
curtains,
towels,
sofas,
cabinets,
kitchen cabinets, wardrobes,
kitchen showrooms,
hardware,
finishes,
so
accents,
cables, also electricals,
exactly,
everything.
And you chose to locate this at East Legon, which is sort of the confluence between many places. How strategic has East Legon become in the past 20 years? I know, because when you guys moved there with your big brother ANC, there was practically nothing there. Nobody was there. So how has East Legon changed in the 2.5 decades?
It has grown tremendously. I mean, the community has evolved to become self-sustained. So you find a heavy residential community that is intertwined with clinics, with schools. University of Legon is not too far away, IPMC. So it's become its own community. So you actually don't need to leave East Legon, and that's what we're trying to do, keep people within the community. That way you deter traffic and all those elements that comes with it.
Wonderful. Yes. So talk to me about the mix of tenants and shops you have at the ANC Corner.
So we have the anchor tenants, which we'll get into, but I'll talk more about the line shop. So we actually have Niche, we have New Edition, we have everything kitchen. We have Bed Bath and Beyond.
Okay.
So these are elements that interior designers would use in regards to decor, accents, etc. Then we've complemented it with restaurants.
Okay.
We have a Boundary Road food market. Then we have the heritage restaurants. Then we also have a clinic. Life Healthcare and Life Supermarket, and the focus of Life Healthcare is also to serve the community as far as all their medical needs, but also to shop from a healthy standpoint, from a Life Supermarket wellness as well.
The first time I spoke to you about malls, you said people design a mall as a place to go to, but for you a mall is a place to go through. So the design of the original ANC space was like there are many outlets and many inlets. Is this the same with the corner? Or this one is a corner, so we just go and we are trapped in the corner?
No. So this one, the design was a little different in the sense that the size of the land was much smaller.
Much smaller, okay.
So we had to utilize it. So it actually has underground parking.
Is it?
For about 140 cars.
Ooh.
Then it has 2 big courtyards that we're planning to use for events.
In between. Okay.
In between.
Oh, nice.
So there's one on the ground floor and there's one on the upper floor. And the whole idea is to host different types of events, home shows, fashion shows, interior design, architectural workshops, etc. Then also food markets. Again, remember we always say we try to build lifestyle centers.
Okay.
Centers that you come, you stay, and you enjoy the shopping elements that comes with it.
I like it. Let me talk to John and Daniel. John, so you are one of the anchor tenants. Tell me about Homeworld Building Supplies.
So Homeworld Building Supplies is like your one-stop shop when it comes to hardware building supplies. We cover basically all stages in the construction of a home. We have paint, we have hardware, lawn and garden, electrical, plumbing, everything under one roof, even furnitures. So not just the building process, but even beyond that, so you can come there. We have an interior designer in-house to also work with your project as well.
Are these your own brands, or these are different brands you brought together under one roof?
These are different brands we got under one roof. They are from different parts of the world. We order from Europe, the United States.
So it's not like you make the paint or you make the furniture and sell. You sort of get the best and aggregate that in a space.
Definitely, yeah.
To make it easier for a person to, I see. What about Heritage Crafts? Daniel, tell me a bit about your company.
Well, the brewery is fully Ghanaian owned. I'm the brewmaster, and we specialize in changing your viewpoint on beer.
You are your brewmaster.
Yes. So we want to challenge you
to
change your way of thinking about beer. I mean, we make beer proudly with local ingredients. We use local coffee, we use gari, we use...
Gari for beer.
We've got Kelewele Ale, we make a Kelewele.
Kelewele Ale.
We've got a Sobolo Ale.
My God.
You name it. If we can make a beer with it, we try and make a beer with it. And
wow.
I brought you guys some of our Mango Tropical Ale, which is our most popular beer, which is made with cassava, rice, and local
Are you
mango.
kidding me?
No?
Wow. And this is available at your shop?
Yes,
for retail or for bulk purchase?
You actually come and sit inside a brewery. The brewery is actually located inside.
The brewery itself?
Yeah, the brewery is actually located inside. So when you walk into the
food court,
a
full brewery
into the brewery, you can actually watch while they are brewing the beer, and you are being served the beer. So it's the freshest beer in Ghana.
Wow.
There's nothing like this.
Beer brewed in front of you. I've never seen that. I thought you need like a huge factory.
So it's a mini factory.
It's a mini factory.
It's actually a mini factory, and that's the whole experience.
So the beer is made here?
Yes.
And it's called Heritage?
Heritage Brewing Company, yeah.
Brewing Company. Yeah. How long have you been in Ghana?
So we've now, the brewery's been open for a year and a half. Yeah.
Wow. So when did you move into the corner?
So about 2 years ago. When we started building and laying the floors and everything.
And how has it been?
Fantastic.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You getting good patronage?
Yes.
People pass by, they want to taste?
I think that's the biggest thing. It's because it's so different. When people come in, we've got at the moment up to 14 different brands on tap.
Wow.
And if you don't drink alcohol, we've got non-alcoholic beer as well.
Wow.
You are talking to me.
So, and it's one of our biggest brands is the non-alcoholic.
So I can
beer as
pass
well.
through this Saturday.
No problem at all.
And just basically come in for a taste.
Yes, for sure. We actually do beer paddles where you can actually taste 4 different beers in smaller glasses, so you can actually choose which one you want.
I actually have a football match on Saturday at East Legon, so I probably will pass through. So, John, in terms of your shop as well, any special deals? I don't know what to say. Because you're on air now, right? So, obviously there should be some packages for us.
Oh, definitely. We do have a certain department in the store that will be of 10% or 20%, or some of them up to 50%. And also too, we try to do end of month sales.
Okay.
Every month. So
are you getting the patronage you were expecting when you moved to ANC Corner? Is this the first place you've been in Ghana? Is the Corner the first location?
The Corner is the first location, and we
okay.
plan to do multiple corners within.
And how are you
Accra
finding
and
it?
Ghana. It's very interesting. It's very good because of we have a mix of clienteles coming, expats, local Ghanaians, especially as Edmund mentioned in the ANC, not ANC, but East Legon area.
Yeah. Wow.
Once people walk into the center, they are amazed to realize that you don't have to go to 10 or 15 different shops.
Everything is there.
Everything is
so
there.
Edmond, you're talking about the various. So talk to me a bit about some of the other tenants and the variety, because I think the point is if you wanted to furnish your home, you probably need to go to 10 shops on the Spintex Road. You're saying when we come to the Corner, we'll have enough variety to make a choice.
Yes, you have enough variety. So you have niche that offers a lot of home accents, from lamps to side tables to chairs. Then you have everything kitchen, which will basically have everything you need to fully furnish your kitchen. Then Bed Bath and Beyond is all your soft finishes for your beddings, your bathrooms, etc. Then everything kitchen will also have a kitchen showroom as well. So the whole idea was to be innovative. It wasn't just to build another shopping center. It was to focus on a niche and a solution to what the community needed. And we felt that bringing this will ignite the interior design industry as well. So architects, interior designers, decorators, this is a center they can come to and find everything they need at one location.
Caleb, we need to take a drive.
Bernard, I'm certainly going there.
One of the things you did at ANC, and I keep referring to ANC because it's the same company that's extended to ANC Corner. You have a space for sort of SME type vendors.
Yes.
So at ANC Caleb, there's no wasted space. So you can have a big pharmacy, a huge bank, and then you have a tabletop guy selling books.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody who polishes shoes just next to them.
So they're optimizing the space.
And also bringing in the small boys.
Wow.
I think that was the idea.
Yes, and that was the whole reason for creating the courtyards, is to also invite, because there's a lot of crafts that do pottery, that do plates, that do pillows. There's a lot of small businesses that maybe might not have the chance to afford a commercial center like ours. So that's where the food market comes into play. That's where the retail market comes into play. So they also get a piece of the pie as well.
John, if I came to buy fixtures and fittings, would you get me someone to fix it for me?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So that's one of the areas that we are concentrating mostly on this year, to work with local contractors.
Wonderful.
And to be able to also
who fix it right.
Fix it right for you.
And not put off their phone.
But I'm scrolling through their pages, ANC Corner on socials.
Okay.
I mean, in interior design, they teach you different styles: traditional, modern, French, Scandinavian, and all of that. And I think that if you're consulting for a client and the person wants traditional style of interior design, you can get everything: Scandinavian, French, modern. So it's exciting.
ANC Corner there is beautiful. When you drive over there, that thing, you see it nicely there.
I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts from you, Daniel, the brew master?
Yeah, man.
The brew master.
After a hard day of shopping, you can take a walk upstairs and come and come have a nice ice cold beer.
Sure.
So
the idea of non-alcoholic beer is quite interesting. So why is it called beer then if it's non-alcoholic?
Because it looks like beer. You can actually sit with a glass. It'll have a foam head on it. It looks just like beer.
So beer is like a status symbol now. It's like I'm drinking beer even though it's not beer.
Beer's been around for 10,000 years, huh? So,
mango beer. I like it.
It's the reason why we are still here as a people.
I love it. So we're hearing from Edmond Asama, who's there. By the way, how can people contact you if somebody wants? Is there space for more vendors?
Yes, we do have space for more vendors. We're looking at adding on maybe one or two more furniture style stores, etc.
So this is look for you.
Yes.
Yes, look for you.
Yes, they can go to our website and our Instagram page, ANC Corner.
ANC Corner.
ANC Corner.
Wonderful.
.com.
And you can also look for Homeward Building Supplies. They have this yellow background with a black home written on it. And then the beer people, Heritage Brewing Company. They have very nice, fancy colors. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show. All right.
Your body, they won't sleep. Love be sweet, the one corny. Sing your shivo, and I won't take you away. We bring Gucci on a Monday and go to Mass on a Sunday. Bless the fire heart, oh. Sorry for your stress, oh. Warms to your heart, oh. How many times I break your heart, baby? Sorry for your stress, oh. Blast up for your heart, oh. Look me in the eyes, oh. Tell me so you know they miss me, girl. Ferrari for my lover. Gucci shoe for my lover. Company for my lover, yeah. Don't let it for my lover. Egusi for my lover. Ewaple for my lover. I got my daddy for my lover, yeah. Plenty fish for my lover.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Looking to give your special one an electrified Valentine's gift? Electroland is here with Electro Love offers. From top best brands to Hope in Love discounts and freebies, we got you sorted. With $8.99 Ghana cedis, you can blast into your favorite love tunes with Nasco Home Theatre. Enjoy a chilled night with our Nasco 1.0 AC at 3,499 Ghana cedis. How about a TCL bedside fridge to cool your favorite champagne at a cool 2,299 Ghana cedis? Surprise the love of your life with a 9 kg Samsung twin-top semi-auto washing machine at 3,999 Ghana cedis. Don't forget to join our Chedia Kessie promo to win amazing weekly and monthly giveaways. Visit our showrooms across Ghana to enjoy. Electroland, home of affordable electronics and appliances.
So what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It's a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
First impressions matter. Make yours unforgettable with the irresistible scent of Princess Body Mist and Roll-On. Designed for every lady who wants to leave a lasting impression wherever she goes. And for our gentlemen, there is Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Elevate your presence with a confident, masculine fragrance that keeps you dry and fresh all day. Because your fragrance should speak before you do, use Princess Body Mist and Roll-On and Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Your daily essentials for smelling good from dawn till dusk. Princess and Style Up. Smell good and feel great together. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So it's 9:45, still on the Citi Breakfast Show. And who do we have in the studio? Friends from Apollonia City. We're talking to them shortly. But if you're looking for cement, Diamonds 42.5 grade cement is available. It's been there for 25 years. High quality rated green by the EPA. A cement brand that stood the test of time. Factories in Aflaut, Takrady and Buipe. Can reach us on 0244313368. Diamond cement, still as hard as a diamond. So we have here a Champong J, who is the head of or is the marketing and communication manager at Apollonia City. Here with Priscilla Kwe, who's the deputy head of sales, and they're here to tell us more about what's happening at Apollonia City, what makes it different, what products do they have, what are their offerings, how is the place designed. And they are happy to announce they are partnering us on the Heritage Caravan for the very first time.
Yeah, man!
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mark.
You're always happy to talk about land. You know, land is such a boring thing, but you always make it like Apollonia. You know, it's like the thing is so sexy.
Bernard, it's the only investment that makes sense today.
Talk to me.
It's the only
Explain it to me.
I mean, we've seen a lot of things happen in Ghana. You're an economics guru. When I was in school, I was told certain investments were secured. It was risk-free. Today we have seen that what was risk-free years ago is no longer risk-free.
At all.
But the one investment that has remained
you can't go wrong,
consistently valuable and appreciating over time is land.
Because God is not making any more land.
He's not making any
the land is that is finished. It's finite.
So
wow.
You need to own one now.
So what makes Apollonia City different from other real estate companies and their offerings?
Ben, need I say more? So talk about our lease period. We are offering you 80 years lease period on our properties. Which other real estate is offering anything more than what we are giving?
Okay.
We also have international affiliation. You know about Rendezvous. We are solid like that. You can't go wrong. We have tried it elsewhere. Tattoo City, Alar City in Nigeria. So this is here to stay. We have a good master plan in place before we started selling the product. So we know where everything is going to go. It's well planned, so we're not now telling you, well, let's put this here for the time being before we do our roads and all of that. No, there's a well planned layout for everything. We have clean title for our land. I've been there 6 years and it's been peaceful. So I own a property there. I want to give you one day. I'm asking all Ghanaians to come on board Apollonia City because why not? Own a piece of Ghana today. And we have power redundancy. Yes. Now that it looks like our power is on and off, find your place in a well reliable area where your business is secured, your home is secured, you have constant power supply. That is what Apollonia City is offering you.
Wow.
And last but not the least, we're building a well-planned community, gated community.
Let's get into some specific. What products do you have in terms of, like, say, I don't know, land? Do you have ready-made buildings? Do you have commercial use, residential use? Just talk to me about some of the categories of things you have.
So like Priscilla said, we are building a city. Now,
a city needs certain key institutions to function.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you need to have access to healthcare.
Okay.
You need to have access to education.
Correct.
You need to have access to beautifully designed places to live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we have beautifully crafted homes. We have 2 bedrooms, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom homes in a number of gated communities.
Okay.
Then we also have fully serviced lands for people who want to build to their own taste.
Okay.
Now, our fully serviced lands come with access to water, electricity delivered to your plot. It's not.
It's waiting for you.
It's waiting for you.
Just put a building on it.
Just put the building
Connect
on it. All your electrician or whatever.
It's like plug and play house.
Take it to the kitchen. Water to the kitchen. Water to the bathroom. That's all you have to do. And then we also have. It comes with solar powered street lights, tarred roads. 24-hour security. I mean, the whole 9 years, fiber optic cables supplying high-speed internet to your homes, all delivered.
Before I just get
it, just come in.
Before I even start using my Sophie to dig the ground.
And then there are those that also say, okay, I don't want the full package. I want something still within the community.
Then I can work.
We have provisions for semi-service lands. So with that one, we bring the services to a point, the entrance of that particular community, and you just tap it.
So there are many communities within Apollonia community.
So Apollonia is a city. So picture, I heard you talking about Kwame Nkrumah. In fact, when it comes to the scale of what we are coming to do, Kwame Nkrumah's tema.
My tema
is the only thing that really comes close.
You want to rub shoulders with Osagyefo for himself.
We've learned and we are following. So in Tema, there are spaces for churches, there are spaces for schools, there are spaces for restaurants.
I always say that Tema is one of the few places you can go and avoid the main road and still get anywhere you want to get to. Because they have lots of connecting routes, well planned. Where is Apollonia located, by the way, for those who don't know?
So we are at Oyibi.
Okay.
I'm sure most people are familiar with Valley View University. We are only 5 minutes away from Valley View University.
So on the way to Oyibi on the right?
Yes. Once you get to Oyibi Junction, you take a right turn and you'll be greeted by the beautiful view of Apollonia City right ahead of you from Oyibi Junction. Now, we're saying that if you do not know, the Adenta Dodowa Road construction is currently being done. The best time to
you are like the
PR
officers for that road
Apollonia City is now, because trust me, once December hits and once that road is done,
traffic bye.
You have nothing on me, and my price is definitely
value.
Oh, so you are saying right now the price is good?
Yes.
No, but someone said, but the road is. I said, the time to come now. Come before the road, because once the road is done,
the value shoots up.
The value will change.
My God.
How is that whole enclave developing? By the way, is it just residential? Do you also have commercial properties? So maybe I want to start school, I want to start a radio station, or I want to, build something else. Do you have space planned for non-residential stuff?
Yes, so we have spaces for our non-residential are divided into various forms. So we have social lands.
Correct.
So our social lands are for schools, churches, libraries, community centers.
Those are social lands.
Yes.
Wow. Water parks.
Yes.
They've labeled that one brown.
Chale.
And then the other ones are
and
which
then we
one?
have mixed business spaces. Picture a place like China, where you see there's residents at the top floor, there are shops on the ground floor. So if you want to you're an SME, you're looking for a space to set up because we already have people living there. There's a ready market.
So like a co-working space kind of thing.
So we also have light industrial.
Light industrial.
So we have companies like Nick Seth, we have Main One, we have.
So they've also been given a place where it's like an industrial enclave.
Yes, where they've also set up. So depending on what your need is.
Then the ANC concession is big.
Yeah,
it's a huge area.
Apollonia.
Okay, sorry, I said Apollonia. Yes. In terms of driving there, assuming I'm going to Tema or I'm going to Akosombo, is there a route out or everything is the Dodowa route?
So there's a back route from through the Apollonia town itself, going through Zenu, through to Ashaiman.
So that's one exit.
So that's one exit. Yes.
Interesting. Wow. So it's on the Accra Plains. You're on Heritage Caravan. So what has housing and land got to do with caravanning?
So, Ben, you know we have Ghana at heart at what we do. That's why we've invested so much money in Apollonia City.
Yeah.
And over the years, we've admired what Channel 1 and City FM been doing.
Correct.
And we're saying, why not? We want to be a part of this because you are showing our heritage to the world, and we are making plans to build our country so that our heritage is not missing. So definitely we have to be on board this. So
you guys will be on the caravan?
Yes, yes. I mean, I've heard you speak passionately about how we need to improve how we manage spaces like our tourism sites and things. We are experts at that. Yes. We've built a beautiful space where landscaping is top notch. We have some of the best landscapers in the world.
Wow.
We are currently building our plant and tree nursery. We're saying that we believe in Ghana.
Plant and tree nursery?
Yes. We know where all the trees will be in Apollonia City. We are saying we don't want to wait for the development to get to that point. We are planting the trees now.
Wow.
So that when the time comes, all we are doing is transplanting semi-mature trees.
All right.
To that.
2 final points. Somebody wants to call. How do they reach you? Number 2, do you do site visits?
Yes.
Yes. So every day, we are saying we are building a live, work, and play community. So I live there, I work there, and I play there. So we are there any time of the day. Please feel free to drive to Apollonia City. You don't need to
Apollonia
pay.
City.
Yes, just put it in the map, and it will bring you straight to Apollonia City. You don't need
Will
to
I meet people
book.
in the office on Saturday?
Yes, we're there. Even on Sunday.
Because some people don't have time on weekdays.
Even on Sunday, you meet us
So
there.
Saturday, Sunday, we'll meet you there.
Yes.
You live there?
Yes.
You can reach us on 0275 577 577.
Simple like that. 0275
577 577.
Or 0542 777 222. I'll take that again. 0542 777 222.
So that's 0542 777 222.
Yes.
Or 0275 577 577. Website?
www.apollonia.com.gh.
Seeing is believing.
Yes.
You know how people can do test drive? Can I do a test house? Can I live in the house for like 1 month to test? I was like,
I'll host you at my place. I'll host you at my place. So
I'll just come and screech the things, and then we'll see if I like the place or not.
I'll take you on a tour.
Yes.
I'll take you on a tour. We'll have champagne, drinks,
Everything.
whatever.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been good talking to you. Yao Achampong J, who's the marketing and communications manager, and Priscilla Kwe, deputy head of sales. Achakanapaya.
In fact, Bernard,
yes.
One question just came.
Yeah.
Someone is asking if they are in the UK,
Yeah.
will they be able to reach us? The good news is that we're actually leaving for the UK on the 12th of March.
Is it?
Yes.
So we'll be
After caravan, no UK.
Yes.
Living the life. Abontin father.
We'll be in the UK from the 12th of March to the 24th of March.
So like a road show.
Yeah. A road show.
So the people who want to get.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So you can reach us on the numbers we put up on WhatsApp, and then we can book a meeting and have the team members reach out to you.
Priscilla and Yao, thank you for being on the show.
And then before we go, please don't forget that Apollonia is offering you 3% on the value of property your referral buys. So refer a family, refer a friend, refer anybody who is interested in owning a property in Ghana.
Yeah.
A well-planned community.
Correct.
And start to make money from us.
You do a
side hustle.
You do a
Yeah.
Suku. If you're looking for litigation free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate, specializing in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. Starting at 90,000 cities in places like Accra and Ebri, we offer flexible payment terms, affordable homes ranging from 2-bedroom at premium furnished apartments for short rentals at Easter Port. Info at Royal Kingdom Estate is our email address. Our phone number is 055 755 5909. That's 055 755 909. Well, that's all we have time for today's edition of the Citi Breakfast Show. Coming up next is City News at 10 branches. The city continues. There's vetting as well of some 3 key ministers, including the nominee for agriculture. There's also the nominee for education, Clementa Park. And then there's another one. Who's the third one? We have to remember. So I know John Dumelo is the third. Apak is the first. Yeah. And then there's, energy. All right, so a Jubi Riafe Akinting is here.